The Buffalo Sabres kept up their winning ways yesterday with a 2-0 shutout over the Vegas Golden Knights. They'll continue their 4-game road trip tomorrow night against the San Jose Sharks. Alex Tuch was out of last night's game due to an illness. His status will be updated tomorrow. Injury report brought to you by Hamburg Overhead Door. Is your garage door injured? Call the experts at Hamburg Overhead Door to get your door healthy again. The Sabres and Sharks tomorrow night. That will be a 10 o'clock face-off. You'd be able to hear that right here on WGR. Around the NHL, 6 games taking place tonight. 2 of them could affect the Sabres in some capacity. Carolina looking to maintain first place in the Eastern Conference. They'll take on Pittsburgh tonight, while Ottawa continues their frantic chase for a wild card. They face off with Washington. In football, the Minnesota Vikings have signed Bills offensive tackle Ryan Vandermark to an offer sheet, according to NFL Network's Tom Pelissero. The Bills have 4 more days to match the signing, or they will lose Vandermark to Minnesota with no compensation. College hoops, 1 more day until we get NCAA tournament action in Buffalo as the round of 64 gets going all day on Thursday. Buffalo will get the following games: Louisville versus South Florida, Michigan State against North Dakota State, Michigan versus Howard, and Georgia against St. Louis. 2 games wrap up tonight to finish out the play-in round as SMU takes on Miami of Ohio for an 11th seed, Lehigh taking on Prairie View for the final 16 seed. This update's brought to you by Paddock Chevrolet, with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Derek Kramer. You're listening to WGR.
It's Mike Schopp.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And the Bulldog.
Hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
On WGR.
Hump day!
Sports Radio 550.
You know what? 27 years of this. Usually I just sort of trust myself to have something when the light goes on.
Yeah.
And I just had a thought like 10 seconds ago that my idea for the beginning of the show today was like, cool game. That was on at 10 o'clock at night and just like really not any sort of interesting debate or like I'm getting a little bit lazy with this, with the Sabres.
Right.
I'm getting spoiled.
Wasn't it cool? 803-0550.
I did think earlier that I've enjoyed this year for the different, I don't know if this makes sense, but kind of emotional milestones or signposts along the way. Like, okay, now I care this much to look at the standings. Now I care enough to watch the West Coast games. Now I care enough to this or that. And I thought today might be one for, like, do we all have a favorite player yet?
I've thought about this like
a
few different times.
It's not the Bills. Like you have
no,
to,
right. There's not. Like, I mean, their best guy, whatever we could argue about. And with the Bills, there's no argument about who their best guy is.
I don't think there's any argument about who the Sabres' best player
is. Well,
Darlene
Thompson, I think, are sort of – I think you could make a case for either guy.
Really?
But Darlene, I think, is the better player.
Me too, easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Fill out your Bills, Sabres. I think I started going in the wrong direction.
No, I was just going to say I used to play fantasy golf when Tiger was his most dominant. And the person who ran that league broke to a point where he's like, all right, you can't pick Tiger Woods. That's it. It would be like 10 guys for the whole year. And Tiger was so above everybody else that you were not allowed to take. You had to play the whole season out without Tiger Woods. Everybody did. Allen is that, for that Bills question. Like, well, nobody else comes close to him, even coaches, even management. Nobody comes close to the quarterback in importance. Right? You agree?
Yes.
So, but the Sabres are not that at all. The sport isn't built like that unless you have Dom in his prime or something. Then maybe that's what we would have done.
Right.
But really, like, Doan last night scores that. Is that a shot on goal? Does he get credit for do you have to get credit for a shot on goal if you score? We could have called it an own goal. A Doan goal is an own goal last night.
I don't think you have to, because didn't McLeod score a goal into the empty net last year that he did not get credit for shooting the puck?
He had the puck and lost it, and maybe the other team put it in.
Like it deflected. Yeah, I feel like there was a situation last year. I don't remember exactly the specifics. I know it was an empty net, and I'm pretty sure it was McLeod, and I'm almost sure he got a goal without a shot.
Okay.
But I don't remember exactly how mechanically it happened. But somehow he got a goal, credited for a goal without a shot on goal recorded.
Well, where does Josh Doan rank on a list of popular Sabres? Is he like top? He's got to be top 5.
I would bet he is. He's new, he's young, and you already have. He probably is. If parents are out there, or even anybody who's thinking about a jersey, whether it's a parent thinking about a jersey for a kid or just an adult who's thinking, I want a jersey for myself. You're at the age where that is still something you want to be doing, wearing jerseys around, either the games are out or whatever. He just signed a 7-year contract. So you feel, pretty secure there about, his runway here. Like you're probably going to have him around for at least a little while. So you might feel safe there. Although who knows, anything can happen. I don't know what kind of trade protection there is on his deal.
The key to that is that they're winning.
Right.
Eichel signed a 8-year contract after he'd already been here for a while, and everybody wanted his jersey, and he was gone.
Yep.
And
he even changed numbers in the middle of it.
Yeah, which was a crime.
Yeah.
But Doan, if they're good, why should there be loggerheads?
He won't want to go, and if he continues to play like he's playing, they won't want to move him. So he might be the safest bet on the team right now for a jersey. Outside of the big guys. The thing that I always have liked about hockey, and I don't know, you see a variety of jerseys, with Bills fans with different, jerseys, depth guys, different guys, and it's almost kind of like a badge of honor. Like if you see somebody with oh wow, I really respect that.
Cam Lewis.
You went for Jamarcus Ingram or whatever. I'm sorry to pick out the 2 UB guys. But even there, a little, because they're from UB. Just find me someone a little more obscure than that, right? Like somebody out there with a Sam Franklin jersey, right?
Wow.
Hockey has always been like that. I think that fans are going to find their favorite guy, and he may not be as important as the guys at the top of the lineup, but he serves a purpose, and when the team is good, all of that matters. Owen and I were talking about this last night. He stayed up through the second period. He has to get here at 5 a.m, so he pulled the chute there.
That poor kid.
And watched the third period. But while we were watching the game, Malenstein, whatever, he ran someone over, just did whatever Malenstein was Malensteining. And Owen said, I really think I'm going to get a Malenstein jersey. And I said right away, his contract's up after this year, right? He's like, I don't think I care. I feel like I'm going to want to remember him for this year.
What's he worth?
Because he's doing all these cool things, including making some pretty remarkable plays occasionally, offensively, not just, running people over. What's he worth? I don't know. I don't know.
Because I think he definitely, I'm not sure anybody doesn't. This team, he definitely qualifies as somebody who could be your favorite guy.
Yeah.
Not only does he play the way he plays, he also scored a couple of goals. What?
That's what I mean, right.
Was it Montreal? He scored in Montreal. He
had
backhand move in front of the net and scored.
He had one earlier this year. He had the play against San Jose, I think. It was a breakaway that you couldn't believe he controlled the puck and made a great move, and he scored. And I was thinking about earlier this year, I think he scored a goal in Washington that looked like the Pominville overtime goal. Do you remember what
I thought that was Montreal. That's the goal I'm thinking of.
Okay. I think that was Washington,
okay.
But I'm not positive.
Maybe both.
But yeah, where he cut in from the left wall and cut across the crease and same number, oh my gosh. So you get that, plus you get the running people over and fighting people and blocking shots, and he's an animal. And we love that guy. Hockey fans love that guy. Teams love that guy.
Sure.
So I don't know, like his contract's up. I'm not even sure what he's getting paid now, but I don't know, is 2 years, $5 million crazy? Like you want to lock down your fourth line winger? That's how good your team is? But like he's not, I don't think he's easily replaced. Like he's a great skater, he's a great forechecker, and he's a penalty killer, and he does a lot of stuff that doesn't matter at all when your team isn't good.
Well, here's to that day in May or June where we spend the whole day on him.
Right.
Whether he's the new J.P. Dumont or somebody that
Right.
should they,
Yeah.
overpay or hometown discount or I don't know.
Well,
But he's interesting enough. Like I don't really want to name anybody that I think wouldn't be. You've got two goalies that are cool, good. I mean, the way this year is going, kind of the whole blue line. I mean, now you have a couple new guys, and that takes a minute to germinate. But up top, I mean, anybody up there, you're thinking about, which is wise, you're thinking about contract status. Alex Tuck at this point, is that somebody whose jersey I want to buy? I'm not thinking about buying jerseys. And I don't know what age you had in mind earlier, by the way, which like where that line is drawn. I think it's younger than 54.
yeah, I just know I'm well past
done.
it. Yeah, I'm out.
I'm done buying jerseys to wear.
Right. Same.
So whatever that age is, but like that's part of your calculus, I guess, when you're thinking about buying a jersey. But, again, not to make everything about 06, but there are so many obvious, easy comparisons and similarities. And that was a bunch of guys that most of whom, or some of whom, we just didn't know anything about. That team had more like Rochester brought up and prospects. And if you were that kind of fan, you knew who they were, than this team does. But still, like you've got, remember Kulik? Remember him?
Yes.
As good as he was.
Yep.
And remember Peterka? As good as he was, Malenstein, I have no problem admitting this. I mean, anything else would be dishonest. He's like five or six of the guys on this team, when it happened that they were acquired or extended or both, I'm like, wow, great, cool. Just no respect for it at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that isn't Samuelson, because Samuelson got paid before last year.
Right. Samuelson got paid after like 50 games or something. Yeah.
I like that when they did that.
Yeah.
But Zucker, I didn't care at all about. Right. Just some of these guys, like, oh, whatever. I don't know who you are. I guess we have to have you because we're that desperate for anybody that wants to actually play for the Buffalo Sabres. And look at it.
Right. Zucker's got 20 goals and matters. Malenstein, quintessentially, like that is, I said this maybe, I don't know, when they got in the race a couple of years ago, Greenway was healthy and playing. And he's not the same player as Malenstein, but, like, it was close enough. And I remember, like, my observation on him was, like, he does all the little stuff that only matters when the games really matter. Otherwise, there's not going to be a lot of goals or assists or flashy play, but he's going to make the right play. He's going to, good stick, whatever, tough to play, defender. And Malenstein is just all across the board, all that stuff. And if this team were languishing in 12th place, and he could have the exact same stat line, even the pretty goals, and it'd be like, yeah, I don't care, whatever. Right. It's just hockey in particular. You need a certain level of your contender status for the guys that do that sort of job to rise above. Like, whatever, get another one. His contract's done, just sign another one. Same money. Just go find a comparable player. And it's not saying you couldn't find a comparable player, but you start, once you've got like a guy, especially in that role, that's doing it really well, provided somebody doesn't want to pay him. There's a guy, is it Blake Coleman? There's like a role-playing guy that I think is on Calgary now that maybe was on Tampa when they won, and he got like 6 for 30 or something in free agency, and he's never, ever, 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 ever come close to living up to it. As long as Malenstein doesn't get that offer, you can probably keep him for a reasonable amount of money, I would hope.
Maybe he could be the new Gergensons. Isn't Gergensons kind of that?
Yes.
He would do occasional things. And it got to the point.
Fabric of the team. Matters when your team is good.
Everybody could have seen what his value would have been to the Sabres, but it got so to the point that we just all hated all of them for it. Like, like he became, was this 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
He became a guy that the GM at the time almost broke into tears talking about in terms of his loyalty and devotion to the Sabres, and went as far as it seemed to hold against anybody who criticized the Sabres for having Gergensen. And we're out here going, because that was us, we're out here going, what?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So what?
Right. If he's a great leader and really good for culture and all this stuff,
so what?
What is it amounting to? Like, you're still in last. So yeah, that doesn't make how you defended him untrue. It just isn't amounting to anything. So let's all just move on.
Yeah.
So
move on for the sake of moving on.
Right.
Because he had become a picture of the losing.
Yes. Absolutely.
And, Dahlin maybe almost became that. 8 years, he was too good to think of in that sort of lesser context, but this is the best.
Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the Sabres, I've said it before, we've talked about it. The Sabres have never had a team like this. They've had good teams. This is a good team. This is on the list.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens. They've never, am I wrong? Like, they've never had a team like this that defensively is just like sort of really tough to penetrate and exploit. And even our favorite Sabre teams ever, they all had that almost a weakness, if not a strength. I mean, this team has it as a strength. And they have games where they don't really need to score.
Yeah, that game last night was 1-0 for 2 hours. And Luukkonen made some great saves.
And they don't have a number one goalie.
But it wasn't an onslaught. It wasn't like they weren't sloppy necessarily in front of him. It was like all great save, and then the play's over. One of the things that was so great about how well he played is how much the puck sort of seemed to stick to him. Like, even if it hit him and he didn't have it like frozen to his body, it was right in front of him and the glove's right on it. And like that must have happened a half a dozen times in that game. Great chance, puck hits him, frozen. Which is, that's great, and that's a credit to them defensively that guys weren't available to get those rebounds before he could corral them. So, like, I want to say he was maybe the best game he's played in maybe a long time. I just thought there were a number of really, really high-level saves. But he wasn't under siege. Like, they sort of had the game in control the whole time, and it's 1-0, and you're not like, I don't know, speaking for myself, I'm not nervous. I'm just watching them play and going like, they could probably win this game 1-0. Maybe they'll get a late one, and they ended up getting an empty netter. But
I can't admit to going that far last night.
Oh, I made it.
It sounds like we both watched it.
I made it. When you started, like all these different levels of like you're unlocking achievement badges, right? It wasn't even hard to stay up to watch that game.
No.
I tricked myself, and I may do this Thursday, because I had things to do after work, and I get in a rut. I like to just go home, and I got a game at 7 o'clock. I'm going to turn it on, whether it's the Sabres or not, and like that's my night. I'll have some dinner and watch the game, and I go to bed. Last night I was out until like 9:30, and so everything was just pushed back a couple of hours, and it worked great. Like, I'm in my living room at 10:15. I ate some dinner. I'm going to go grab a guitar and play and I just sat there, and next thing I knew it was midnight. Like, I never felt like, oh God, I'm in danger of falling asleep here. And the team does have a central part in that. Like, they're so good and fun to watch that I didn't feel like, oh God, it's midnight. Fine. So Thursday, I got to try to find something to do between like 7 and 9.
All right.
I think it doesn't involve like going to a bar and throwing back beers, because that could be,
3 words.
Go on.
Underdogfantasy.com. Jump in a bigger board. Most fun you'll ever spend $100 doing, and then it'll be game time. Actually, you might need to do a few to fill that long of a block.
I mean, easy for me to say I can also sleep until 9:30 if I want to on any day of the week, which I chose to do today. So, even it's not like I got to get up at 6 to, get to the factory, so that's pretty cushy.
Yes.
But still, I want some credit for not having it be a chore to stay up until 1 in the morning watching a hockey game.
Credit. Good job. We're all happy for you.
I'm so proud.
Yeah, it's just, again, I'm sitting here kind of like basking in what's happening. Not even looking to, which I should be doing, help lead a conversation. Just sort of talking, it's really fun. And yesterday we did who do you want, first round, different possible matchups and that. And I got to think more and more fans every day, every win, feel comfortable doing that. Because not everybody is the type to want to do that until it's like official. But it's just one more step. Tampa wins 2.
Yep.
Pretty easily. A couple of empty net goals, or at least one. 5 points for your buddy, Kucherov.
He has.
Carolina loses.
I saved it somewhere. I think 93 points in his last 45 games, Kucherov. Yeah. It's the most points in a 45-game span since Lemieux had like 100 and something back in 94 or 95 or something. It's insane what Kucherov is doing. So, yeah, he's continuing to just blast off like crazy.
There's a badge unlocked. Carolina mattering on the out-of-town scoreboard for the first time.
Right.
To me, anyway, right?
Right. Tied with Carolina for the top spot in the Eastern Conference. They have a game in hand, so points percentage-wise they have you, but still, like...
Do you wish you had a game with them?
Yes.
Left?
I really do, yes. They were so good the last time they were in there. And they lost in regulation.
We were on the air.
Yeah, we were. Well,
didn't really watch it.
That game started at like 1. We saw most of it before we got on the air.
Was that after Denver? Was that the day after the Denver weekend?
I think that's right.
McDermott?
Yeah.
Was it?
I think so. I think that's right. It was that day.
I might not have been paying close attention.
I felt like I watched the heck out of that game. Because it started it was like 1 o'clock or 1:30. So like most of it was, but anyway, I wish they played Carolina again. I'd like to see that.
Dan is on WGR. Go ahead, Dan.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
It is just, it is so fun to talk about the Sabres again, and it matter, and it's just exciting. So, hey, just to kind of, a couple points. I've been wanting to call with WGR here for a little while now, but you began the show with who's a favorite player. I really think, for me, I think it's just becoming Doan. I think just the way he plays, his aggressiveness, is he Austin Matthews? No, but he plays the game the right way, and a great player, great pedigree, and so I think it's him. We talked a lot about you guys the 05-06 season. I had something a parallel that was really interesting. After that Lightning game a couple weeks ago, it was actually about 20 years ago to the day, March 9th, the Sabres beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 8-5 in March of 2006. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And, I think this team, also I guess it's probably been said, but Lindy Ruff deserves a lot of credit for this team and just what he means to this organization and the community of Buffalo. So I guess those are the three things I want to talk about, and I'll hang up and listen, and we'll talk soon, guys.
All right, Dan, thanks. Yeah, Lindy, when that happened 2 summers ago now, I remember feeling like, great, Lindy, it's heartwarming, impossible not to root for, and why wouldn't you root for the guy who's coaching the Sabres? Like, I don't want the stench of the organization to get on him now too. And the way year one went, it was kind of just pretty shaky. It's easy to forget. As much as we all were convinced when they started this winning streak that when they got home from that road trip out to Western Canada, that change was coming, like Adams was going to be removed, that there was a lot of reported turmoil about him too. Not that he was going to be taken out back necessarily, but that he might be moved out of head coach, bumped upstairs, something like that. And they got hot and it just never happened. I'm going a long way just to say the opposite of getting the stink on him is what is happening now. It adds to how this feels. If you live through his first tenure as the coach, or even you're old enough like we are to remember him even as a player and a captain on this team, him being the coach of this team, there's no other person that could be the coach that would mean as much. It just, we're tied to him. Buffalo hockey, like Lindy Ruff is absolutely Buffalo hockey. He grew up here as a young man playing, coached, all of it. And to have him now at the helm of a team that's doing this, it just couldn't be better.
Thanks, Dan. Doan, he's even sort of like moving to the music before the second period or the third period last night, sitting on the bench. I'm kind of moving with him. I mean, I have a friend who looks like Doan to me. I know a lot of young people.
I see.
And I just was so enjoying that last night. Also not worried at all about what time it was. Lines are open for your calls. We're just sitting here reveling in all of this madness. 803-0550. I think I can say madness if it's in a different...
Yes.
I think I...
You didn't.
Hopefully I get away with that.
Use the name of a month or anything ahead of it, so I think you're
No
clear.
months were mentioned
Yep.
in the making of that point. Chris Trapasso, Sal Capaccio today. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
I think that's just the growth we kind of have had this season. That comes with winning, I feel like. We've been throwing away so many games before in the similar situations where we kind of do something stupid. And even personally for me, just kind of finding the confidence, kind of finding the calmness to play in these situations, has been kind of point of growth for me.
Last night's winning goalie, shutout at that. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Sabres 2, Vegas zip. Next up, San Jose tomorrow night. What are you thinking about this team? How big are you dreaming? 803-0550 is our number. My friend Andy Provin last night pointed out that Josh Norris, by his empty net goal, became the 11th Sabre to hit 10 goals on the season. And I asked Andy today what the team record is. Got a guess? What might be the all-time Sabres record for most
10 goal scorers?
10 goal scorers.
How many do they have now?
11. Krebs has 9. Benson has 7. Power has 7. Malenstein has 6. With, is it 14 games left?
Yes. I'm just gonna guess the most they've ever had is 12. 10 goal scorers.
15 is the record. Want to play?
Oh, sure. What year are we talking about?
82-83.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I'm not looking, so I could play too.
Oh, boy. Okay. 82-83. Oof. All right, well, see, already my first guess. My first guess is going to be Housley, but
I like it.
Is he there already?
That's his rookie year, I think.
Okay, all right.
Andrew Chuck,
okay.
Also.
All right. Foligno.
Gilbert.
Uh-huh.
Brent Peterson.
Right. I don't know.
Hamel. Sear.
Yeah, he never was the scorer he was thought to be when he got here, but he probably scored 10.
Yeah,
that year if he was on the team. So, Dale McCourt.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to look now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, we didn't even get the leading scorer. 36 goals. Oh, this is a shame. The rest of them I think we got. Lindy is one. Lindy had 12.
Is it it's too soon for John Tucker?
It might be.
Okay.
Gilbert, Foligno, Hamel, McCourt, Housley, 5. Sear, Anderchuk, Peterson, Ruff, 9. We got 9. There's 6 more.
Oh, boy.
Including the leading goal scorer by 6. This is a shame.
82-83.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't get this. I'll give you the other names while you try to nail that.
Yeah, too early for Rick Vive.
Yes. Rick Sealing had 19. Andre Savard had 16.
I was going to guess Savard. Damn it.
Hanu Verda.
Okay.
13. Craig Ramsey, 11. 10 for Sean McKenna.
Okay.
And then 36. Oh, I have to say, every second that goes by annoys me that we haven't said his name yet. Leading goal scorer of the Sabres in 82-83. One of 15 players to score double digits.
You're right. I mean, you've been looking at it. I'm going to be so mad. I don't have it.
McKegney.
Oh, wow. Wow. I would have never guessed he ever led them in goals. Wait, was it
goals?
Goals. Okay.
Second in points.
Wow.
To Perro.
I just do not. I would have never guessed. I could be in a bar arguing so loudly about no way he ever led them in scoring. Or goal scoring. Goals. But wow, that's tremendous.
He shot 20%. Somewhere right now, Sneaky Joe is laughing in his car.
It's a good shooting percentage year. It's an outlier.
The team shot 13%.
Yeah.
Let's go to Chase here. Hi, Chase.
How's it going today, guys?
Good, thank you.
It's like, for me, it's crazy as a fan because I'm 19 years old, and the only game I've ever witnessed in the playoffs was Tyler Ennis's game-winning goal in the playoffs, which I was like 5. But my question today is, like, as a fan, like, it's great having the top seed and all, but I'm always like so worried about them just getting in. Like, obviously they're in a great spot, but like, should I focus more on for the out of town scoreboard? Like the bottom teams, I should say, like, I guess like the Red Wings and Bruins, or should I just like still focus on like Tampa and the Red Wings or not the Red Wings, the Hurricanes, and see how they're doing and stuff like that?
I don't do it all. I mean, do whatever you like, do whatever makes it fun for you. You know, you can look behind you. I think it would be smart to hope, not that it's going to matter. Us hoping for something isn't going to amount to anything, but I'm very invested in Ottawa not getting in. I just think that is another team that I think they could be comparable to the Sabres. They don't have the decor the Sabres have, but they there's a lot of young guys there that if you get in a series with them, you'd be like, oh, wow, that guy's really good. Like, if you just haven't like sat and watched Ottawa a lot, I think they're dangerous, and they're 4 points back, still 5 points back right now. I don't want them to get in, but that's something I'm thinking about. I don't think they're not going to knock the Sabres out if they get in. I just don't want them in the pool because I just think that's a better team than the teams they're chasing exclusively. All 3 of the teams in the Sabres division, I would rather play than play Ottawa.
I am choosing myself to not be the slightest bit worried about getting into the playoffs at this point for 2 reasons. One is statistically, mathematically, projections, like they're almost a lock already. 99% or higher, although there's no X.
Right.
So I'm not wasting any energy on the Sabres collapsing. And secondly, I just love the kind of team they are, for one that I think will be tough to beat. I mean, they are tough to beat already. I'm not so big on the old winning different ways business. I mean, that Tampa game was a severe outlier. They're not playing 8-7 games,
right.
Or even, usually 6-5 games or anything like that. Last night is the kind of game that I think they're suited for. And that second period, they had how many odd man rushes? 5? It's 10? Like, they had tons of chances to build the lead and just didn't do it.
Yep.
And, other nights, those go in. I mean, that's just, I think it could have been an easier game on the scoreboard than it was. And they won by a shutout. I think what they are defensively, and they're having the players they have that can finish, usually, is a great formula.
Yeah. Well, to be able to win games like last night, for me anyway, is the kind of game that gives me hope that they can really do something when the playoffs get here. Because the tight games, like if the Sabres were winning 6-4 all the time, it'd be really fun for, like all the stats would look great. And, the horn would blow a lot, and like the goals are fun. I don't know that I'd feel the same as I do after a game like last night. Last night is the kind of game you're going to need to win. Almost the majority of your games in the playoffs will be more like last night's game. And they have gotten really good at playing, really comfortable playing those games. So much so that I already said it. Like, I'm watching, it's 1-0 for like 2 hours. You're watching that game. Like, I don't feel, I know one goal ties the game, but I'm not stressing about it. I mean, their place in the standings does play into that to some extent, because like a game that gets to overtime isn't going to cripple me or anything. So like there's that there too, but just the way they play to me inspires confidence in a game like that, and it's a very promising sign for the playoffs.
It really is an adjustment in how you think, how you feel, how you watch games. It really is. Like the Sabres have had, if you're old enough to know this and have seen it, they've had good teams before, but this one is different than I think any. Would you say otherwise, this team is different than any team they've ever had.
I think that's right.
70s, I wasn't there, you were. 75, like just high-end talent, skill.
Right.
And they could hold up physically. But
And when it tightened up, Philly just was able to lock them up.
80s, they lost a lot of those years. They weren't usually bad, but they still were not like tough to score on teams, usually for the most part. 90 was good like this, but then you had the Hasek teams, which were ordinary teams, but had the best goalie ever. I mean, I think that's probably safe to say, even though it was blasphemous at the time, but right? And then 05, 06, 06, 07, again, we're back to just speed and
score your way out of
scoring.
trouble is how Lindy said it. After they lost, he said, like, we never found another way to play other than scoring our way out of trouble. And that's the point here. This team
That's right.
It does not need to score 4 to be comfortable. They'll get in front 1-0 and play. And I'm not saying that they're impervious to mistakes and breakdowns. I mean, it's going to happen. And maybe it'll rear its head in the playoffs if someone gets a little tight because it's the playoffs. I don't know. But it's good practice to be comfortable playing games like that. Like, even though it's only March and it's a road game in Las Vegas and you got some cushion in the standings, it's a good mental exercise to go through that, especially on the road if you want that part too. They're just very comfortable playing that kind of game now.
Here's Joe next. Hi, Joe.
Hey, guys. Great conversation today. Listening to the favorite player on the team, I don't know if it's cool to pick one of the two big stars, but Darlene has always been my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
He's tough, talented, and, he can dish it out as well as take it. And the second point I want to make is the guy that called right before the break and brought up Lindy Ruff. And I don't know if there's been conversation yet, but I really think, and I know I'm biased, that he needs to be considered Coach of the Year for what he has done with this team. And my little bias with that is that him and his wife used to come into the restaurant I used to run.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just great people to talk to. He had a great sense of humor and just a real down-to-earth guy to talk to. So those are the comments I wanted to make. In Lindy Ruff, Coach of the Year. That's the biggie. Thanks, guys.
Okay, Joe. He is the betting favorite, and Bulldog and I have action on it.
Right.
At 7-1. I saw plus 175 today, Cooper plus 240. I'm not sure how official that is. I can't check it on my phone because you can't bet awards on my phone, at least when I'm in New York State. But I think he is the betting favorite to win.
I think if they get this division home with them in first place, I think he will win it.
He might not if they don't.
Yeah, I think Cooper might win it if he doesn't. If they don't win, if the Sabres don't win the division, whoever wins amongst those two teams, nobody else. Well, Montreal's 6 back, whatever. If it's a 2-team race, I think the team that wins, their coach is going to be Coach of the Year.
Thanks, Joe. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. Chris Trapasso, NFL Draft at 4 here on WGR. Mike Schopp for Empire Electric. Every once in a while, we want to say a thank you or a shout out or a good job. I want to say good job to our vending machine.
Okay. Why
I
is
did
this?
what I often do, which is go out to the the bistro. Are we the only bistro in the world that isn't at a zoo?
Yeah, I don't.
If you're a zoo and you have a food area, it's got to be called a bistro. Buffalo Zoo has a bistro. Beast.
Beastro. Yes, bistro.
There was Jack's Bistro on Three's Company.
That's right.
Has the show ever sounded older?
I am more comfortable just calling that the kitchen.
Kitchen is it. Kitchen is better.
Yeah.
As vending machines. Not every kitchen. And I went out, as I often do, try to buy my vitamin water right there.
Mm-hmm.
I see it in there. Scan the credit card. Boom. Easy game. There comes that arm. But it missed it.
Oh, no.
And then I think they were confused. The arm was confused. It went up to the Pepsi, and I thought I was going to get a Pepsi, which I did not want. But it didn't take the Pepsi. And it basically just, probably in shame, returned to its original position.
Sort of shut down.
And I'm looking at the readout, knowing that I'm going to get charged, even though I never got a drink.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't. It said $0.
Wow. So it failed
It
and
knew.
didn't take your money.
Yes.
That's the value of having the credit card scanner rather than money. 'Cause
Maybe.
You put money in to get the machine
Oh, yeah,
moving.
definitely.
That's it. You're cooked. Now
That's
you got to call the number for the $1.95 I just lost in the vending machine. Is that what things cost in the vending machine now?
$3.40.
Okay.
$3.40.
Oh, my God.
Why don't I just buy it at the store?
Yeah, or
not buy it at all?
Just good question.
Well, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Turns out I
See,
didn't buy it at
have,
all.
I have this fella here packed with ice. I'm just showing our Twitch and YouTube video. Packed with ice. Just fill it with water throughout the day as needed, and I'm all set. No 340. No mechanical arm. No trouble.
I have water too.
Although this
I don't like drinking out of
I
those.
like the size of this, but it makes a slurp noise when I drink.
I know.
I'll bet you do. I have to be very careful about where I am when I'm, because it's obnoxious.
We know, everybody, right? We know
No.
about that noise.
I'm trying to keep it from the
I
air.
like the glass.
I see.
Drink out of a glass. It's the best. Watch how much you'll see the enjoyment in my face.
Well, you're trying to buy a plastic bottle or can
yeah, I want
of
the
water.
I want the. I don't know. Is it actual sugar? I want something that offers.
Yeah.
But then I tried to. I see it in there.
You tried again?
Tried again, and it said sold out.
Well, that's a lie.
It's wrong.
Yeah, I'm done.
But at least they're not charging me.
I'm done. Well,
I could. That's life right now. That's a win. Push is a win.
I like that they're not charging you, but they are still lying to you. If they were charging you and lying, that
lying
would be
is
a
not.
problem.
It's a mistake.
Yeah.
It's not lying so much as it's just a mistake. It's a glitch.
Yeah.
I'm here to give the machine a compliment. A push is a win in 2026. When you're me, that feels like a
Not
win.
being charged is you're right. That's
Right.
a win.
Chris Trapasso next.
The Buffalo Sabres started off their road trip in the victory column as they get a 2-0 shutout over the Vegas Golden Knights last night. They'll continue their 4-game road trip tomorrow night against the San Jose Sharks. Alex Tuch was out due to illness. His status will be updated tomorrow. The injury report brought to you by Hamburg Overhead Door. Is your garage door injured? Call the experts at Hamburg Overhead Door to get your door healthy again. Sabres and Sharks tomorrow night. That faceoff will be at 10 o'clock. You'll be able to hear that here on WGR. Around the NHL, 6 games taking place tonight. 2 of them can affect the Sabres in some capacity. Carolina looking to maintain their first-place hold on the East as they're currently tied with Buffalo in points. The Hurricanes will face Pittsburgh tonight. Ottawa Senators trying to continue their frantic chase for a wild card spot. They take on the Washington Capitals with a 7:30 faceoff. In football, the Minnesota Vikings have signed Bills offensive tackle Ryan Vandemark to an offer sheet, according to NFL Network's Tom Pelissero. The Bills would have 4 days to match the signing or lose Vandemark to Minnesota with no compensation. College hoops, one more day until we get NCAA tournament action in Buffalo, as the round of 64 will be going on all day Thursday. Buffalo will get the following games for the first round: Louisville against South Florida, Michigan State taking on North Dakota State, Michigan against Howard, and then Georgia against St. Louis. 2 games tonight to wrap up the play-in round. SMU takes on Miami of Ohio for an 11 seed, while Lehigh takes on Prairie View for the final 16 seed. This update's brought to you by Paddock Chevrolet, with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Derek Kramer. You're listening to WGR.
Using hint of lime in the guacamole with the lime, you've crossed the line.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog on WGR Sports Radio 550.
Boy, could I possibly have enjoyed that more? I mean, way to overdo it. There's more of me doing that than there is lime in the lime. I mean, just I snookered myself. You ever use that expression?
I don't think
you
so.
enjoy snooker?
I don't think so. No, I don't think I've ever snookered.
No, I haven't either, but I aspire to. If anybody has a snooker table, let me know. I'd like to see it. I think it's big. I think it's bigger than a pool table.
I remember being I was in a place, a bar. I know I was somewhere where someone started to explain to me. And I just I don't.
Let's you and I play snooker.
I'm good. I'm not going to remember any of this, and I'm not.
There's a blue ball and a green ball and a bunch of red balls.
It's too different from
yellow
pool
ball
to me.
No, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah,
I've played bumper pool.
Oh, my dad has a bumper pool table in the basement, buddy.
He does.
Let me tell you.
My Uncle Jeff had a bumper pool.
We get done eating.
Where is that table?
It is time to go. At bumper pool with pops.
Chris Trapasso, your thoughts? Snooker, bumper pool, any billiards?
I've heard
content?
of snooker. I've never heard of bumper pool, but at the outset there, I totally agree with you on the hint of lime tortilla chips. It's not a hint. It's like they're doused in lime.
Exactly.
And they're way too much for guacamole. Like, I guess on their own they could be okay, but I don't know who would just eat those by themselves. It has to just be a plain tortilla chip.
I don't like guacamole. So
okay.
I am
never
dipping a chip in guacamole, and I like the hint of lime chips with like a queso or with salsa.
Okay.
I don't find it overbearing. I get that it would be too much with something that already is lime flavored
exactly.
itself.
Bad.
But I'm not a guac guy.
I got to think about that. I'm not sure if I've lost total respect for you right now.
This is not a new revelation.
I didn't know it.
You really,
I don't remember everything you've ever said.
Okay, well.
It's new to me. Sorry, if you told me like yesterday, then that's on me. But I don't think
it was probably 15 years ago. I told you I don't like guacamole.
So Chris Trapasso with us, NFL draft, a little more than a month now. Everybody's, I think, still on. Am I possibly wrong here? Mendoza at 1. I've never. If anybody isn't, I haven't seen it. Mendoza to the Raiders. Does the draft start at 2? or later, how much drama or suspense is there about the second pick?
I think there's a fair amount because the two Ohio State defenders, Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles, who are both listed as linebackers, I'm assuming Arvell Reese will be more of an edge rusher, Micah Parsons type role. They're both ridiculous athletes. You can look at what they did at the combine. Their measurements are through the roof. I don't think either of them are legitimate finished products. They are a little bit on the younger side. But then there's David Bailey from Texas Tech, who's 23, but looked like Jared Verse last season. Every top-tier offensive tackle he faced, I don't want to say demolished them, but he certainly got the best of them in those matchups. So I think at 2, there will be a conversation, and probably is a conversation happening right now in the Jets organization. Do we go Arvell Reese? Do we go more of the off-ball linebacker that has, maybe in the perfect scenario, Fred Warner upside in Sonny Styles? Or do we go with a more finished product, higher floor, still with pretty good ceiling in David Bailey? And there's obviously a chance that they go like offensive line or something else. So I think there's a fair amount of intrigue with that number 2 overall pick. Ironically, inside the top 5, and I wouldn't necessarily advocate for this, it seems like the Tennessee Titans at 4, everyone is writing in Sharpie Jeremiah Love after all the stuff that they've done in free agency that did not include them signing one of those veteran running backs.
How do the teams in the top 5, or even the Jets at 2, feel about how this fell for them? Like, I'm thinking about Abdul Carter last year, went 3 to the Giants, and that was pretty close to a consensus pick. Travis Hunter before him with Jacksonville trading up. If you're the Jets, the Cardinals at 3, or even Tennessee or the Giants 4 or 5, are you like, did you do well, so to speak, finishing so badly where this is your year, or maybe it's not? I feel like the answer is probably no, that other years are better.
It is, to me, it is emphatically no, that I think a lot of those teams, there's a bunch of teams now that have 2 first-round picks. That's great. I think you will see, there obviously needs to be suitors on both sides, but you will see or hear about teams trying to get picks next year, because this is a class, and I try to stay as calibrated as possible with my grades from year to year to year. There was I could look on my site right now. There's last season I had about 6 or 7 elite level players that would be first round caliber prospects in any class. Actually, it was 8. This year, David Bailey is the only one. Now, that does mean that there are more of mid to late first, early second round grades that I have than usual. But if you're a team picking in the top 5, you would have liked to have seen, like you mentioned, an Abdul Carter or a Jamar Chase or a Malik Neighbors or even a Marvin Harrison Jr., a prospect that ticks a lot more of the boxes and has that freaky athleticism. I think even Fernando Mendoza kind of sets the stage as the locked in, essentially, number 1 overall pick, where in a lot of draft classes, I think he would still be a first rounder, but he would not be the slam dunk number 1 overall pick quarterback in really many of the last 5 to 10 to 15 years.
Right. So I was just going to ask you, how does he stack up with, say, Cam Ward 101 last year? Is Mendoza a better prospect than Cam Ward?
He's slightly different, and I'm looking at my grades. I have them very, very similarly graded, and that is in that technically mid to late first round, maybe even early second round. It's picks 21 to 40 in any draft. So that would suggest that, the Raiders are locked in, but I think Mendoza and even Ward last year, I understood it because positional value and the teams needed it, but the traits are not there on par with Caleb Williams or Joe Burrow or Andrew Luck or even guys that weren't the first pick like Justin Herbert. There's been so many other quarterbacks, obviously Drake May, Jaden Daniels, who were those early first round pick quarterbacks that just had higher upside than what I think Mendoza or even Cam Ward had last year.
Was Ward as much of a sure thing at this time last year as Mendoza appears to be now? And,
I think very similar, yeah.
Okay, all right. I was just curious because if they're similar prospects, at least according to you, I was just wondering if Mendoza's profile is higher because of the national title. Those sorts of stages can certainly elevate a player's profile. And I think with Mendoza, I mean, he had just some really great moments within the college football playoff that Cam Ward really didn't have.
For sure. And I think last year, famously, Kyle Brandt, right before the NFL draft, was like, I've never seen a number one overall pick that's gotten less buzz, especially at quarterback, than Cam Ward. And what you just outlined, I think if Indiana lost in the quarterfinals, or if they had a couple losses in Big Ten play and maybe made the college football playoff but didn't really win anything, there would be similar, like, minimal-ish buzz relative to what the number one overall pick and a number one overall pick quarterback typically would have. They're obviously different styles. Mendoza's bigger. He's not going to do as much throwing off structure. Cam Ward does give you some improvisation ability, but they each have decent arms. They're not amazing arm talents. They have decent accuracy, not amazing accuracy, and I think they do need to have a pretty insulated environment for them to succeed in the NFL.
Let's be sure to mention your new site, Chris, draftgradebook.com. Pretty cool to look at. I mean, it seems like really useful and attractive. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is a cool new step for you. I'm looking at wide receiver now because that's the law with us.
We have to talk about it.
And there's Ted Hurst. And last night on ADP Chasing, the guys were talking about Denzel Boston, who you have maybe like your 10th receiver. And Hurst is your 4th highest graded receiver. And I said, well, here we go again. Denzel Boston, that's a super cool name. Ted Hurst
really
is not a cool name. So he's going to get slighted by the community, and Boston will be overrated. I'm going with that. As far as you're concerned, you're not falling for that. Ted Hurst at wide receiver 4. That could be – is 26, if the Bills were so inclined, too early for Ted Hurst?
I personally don't think so, but you do kind of have to play the game and gather that intel if you're the Bills front office and ask around the league where a lot of teams have him slotted. Now, the obvious wrench in the plans here is that the Bills don't have that second-round pick anymore, and I thought Ted Hurst would be a perfect round 2 selection. But there's certainly scenarios where Ted Hurst is available in the 3rd round just because he played at Georgia State. For the comparisons on my site, I have Ted Hurst as the small school Des Bryant, so similar to him. The size, the rebounding ability. He's legitimately good in contested catch situations, very fast, tested very well at the combine. And Denzel Boston, you, Mike, being a big fantasy guy, will remember this name, reminds me so much of Kenny Galladay, who was a good player, and I think he had a 1,000-yard season one year for the Lions. But is that someone you want to pick at 26 overall? Probably not. But it does feel like maybe because playing in the Big Ten, Washington has produced some good receivers the last couple of years, there's the odds-on favorite. If we're trying to peg who would be a first-rounder, it would obviously be Denzel Boston. I don't hate him as a prospect. I still think he's in that, round 2 range, like early to mid-round 2 range, where if the Bills were to pick him at 26, it wouldn't be a drastic reach. But I would just be similar to how I felt about Keon Coleman, but not to the extent of concern. The separation ability with Boston just is not something that he hangs his hat on, but he is legit 6'4", 220, and plays to that size. He really is one of the better rebounders in the class.
Galladay. What happened to that guy? His last year is the Dable Giants Coach of the Year season.
You're right.
And he had 6 catches playing the full year.
Yeah. How many 1,000-yard seasons did he have? 2?
I would guess at least 2. Let me see. He had 2 in a row for Detroit. That's the number. 18 and 19. Okay. Bulldog, he's 32. Is he a free agent idea of the day? He's been out of the league 4 years. What do you think? Kenny Galladay, can he still hoop?
Maybe. What should the Bills' appetite, in your view, Chris, be for drafting a receiver at 26 after making the move for DJ Moore? I mostly have ruled it out. Not that I wouldn't love them to do it. I just, with the other needs they have, I wonder if. But not now. You're mentioning like not having that 2nd-round pick. Maybe that would have been the ideal spot to draft a receiver. How funny you gave that up to get the guy that is your number 1 receiver now. Would you be surprised if they used their top remaining pick on a receiver at this point? Is it warranted?
I would be. I think there absolutely is. It would still be warranted to use an early selection on a wide receiver. I think with DJ Moore, Khalil Shakir, Josh Palmer, Keon Coleman, it's obviously an elevated group, but do I think it's great? Do I think it's even a middle-of-the-pack wide receiver group? Not really. What I've been kind of battling with, and obviously every time I'm on this show, any show, we have to talk wide receiver like Mike mentioned. I've thought a lot about, even though in the playoffs, the thing that I think almost everyone agrees has been the Achilles heel is the defense and the inability to get quarterbacks on the ground, the inability to get the pass breakup on third down, the 33 points a game in the playoff losses. That's the number one thing that I'm assuming is on the minds of Brandon Beane and maybe even Jim Leonard, even though he's just new here. Joe Brady obviously is the head coach. But despite that, like, Jeremy's been leading the wide receiver train, I think, correctly, because even though it's been the defense, we, watching every single snap, have been able to tell, like, that Josh Allen has truly been elevating not just the receiver group, but the entire offense, and that there were stretches even in 24 where they scored all those points, and last year where they were still right around 30 points a game, where the receiver group was severely lacking. And I think I said it when I was on the air last week, that I had a game with my wife down the stretch and then into the playoffs for the Bills. Like, we were trying to count how many catches receivers made who were not named Khalil Shakir. And, like, any time that there was a Brandon Cooks catch or a Gabe Davis catch or a Tyrell Shavers catch, it was like a huge win where we, like, kind of jokingly celebrated because it just wasn't happening. And think how crazy that is in today's NFL. So I do agree with you, Bulldog, that I think someone like a Cassius Howell or a Derek Moore from Michigan or TJ Parker from Clemson, those edge rushers to round out the defense is probably legitimately the number one thing that the Bills need and that will be in their minds. But at the same time, I also think things could be a lot easier for the offense and put them in better situations in the playoffs if they could roll out three really good wide receivers in DJ Moore, Khalil Shakir, and then whoever you pick in the first round.
I count 108 wide receiver catches by players not named Shakir in 17 games. That's like a little more than 6 a game. I mean, it's a little bit too high a number for a drinking game, I think.
That's true.
6.
A little bit dangerous.
I think for a drinking game, you want 3 or 4. Yeah. This year, I wouldn't touch it because it goes up.
Down the stretch, though, it got very much where there was a few games where, like, Brandon Cooks had 2 catches and that was it. Or, like, Shavers had a catch and Gabe Davis had a catch, where it was like, oh, my God, it's either a throw to the running back, the tight end, or Shakir, and that was it.
Right. Chris Trapasso, our guest, draftgradebook.com for his new site. How about Miami in this trade with Denver? How did they do?
I think they did great. I mean, I tweeted it right away that, we'll ultimately see what happens, and the actual draft picks obviously are what matter most. But you have to give hats off to the Jets and the Dolphins, maybe outside of the Malik Willis signing, even though they didn't pay him a ton. But their process of rebuilding has been as emphatic and I think as by the book as you could possibly be. I mean, if you look by the draft trade charts, Denver paid like the equivalent of like the 25th or 26th overall pick for Jalen Waddle, which to some people, that's about what he costs. And I can also understand that people are saying that anyone out there who thinks, oh, well, he's a better receiver than DJ Moore. Okay, that's fine. Like, I can understand that too. There's some stats you can look at. You just better separator. He's a year younger. But the Bills paid roughly the equivalent of pick 64 for DJ Moore. So my question to that would be, do you really believe that DJ Moore is a round worse of a wide receiver than Jalen Waddle? I think that gave new perspective on what the Bills paid, which felt like an overpayment. But I think now, for whatever reason, maybe just because receivers are really important, it feels like we are pretty entrenched with these 2 trades, and then along with the fact that A.J. Brown hasn't been traded, that it is a seller's market in terms of trading wide receivers, that the teams trading away the wide receivers can get probably more value than they've ever gotten in the last couple off seasons.
Miami gets a third, too, in that trade. They flip fourths, but pretty good return.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that is definitely, like, I was sort of rolling my eyes when the offseason was beginning, Chris, and the Eagles were reportedly looking for a first-round pick for A.J. Brown with the contract, with whatever extent you believe in the headaches that might come with him. I saw like there's no way. And then the marketplace has absolutely dictated that should be the case. Unlike, just 2 years ago, we were kind of blown away that Brandon Beane managed to extract a second-round pick from Houston for Stephon Diggs because the market just doesn't usually roll that way. But it seems like it's changed. Like, teams are willing to part with premium assets and pay the big contract. Normally you don't have to do both, right? If you're doing the team the favor of taking that contract off their hands, that sort of buffers what you got to pay in assets. But that's not been the case with some of these receivers this year.
No, definitely not. And for as much as I'm kind of hinting at the idea of I'm still like holding out hope that the Bills could pick a receiver in the first round, which is not what I think they absolutely need to do. It. If they draft a really good edge rusher, it will help. But I think maybe part of that is the fact that it's a good wide receiver class, but it is lacking the premier, like, plug this guy in as your wide receiver ones. Like, the fact that Mekhi Lemon ran pretty slow at the USC Pro Day, like somewhere in the 4.5s. Tarnell Tate, who was supposed to be this burner at Ohio State, who caught everything, the contested catches are there, all that. He runs 4.53 at the combine, and then there's all that fiasco of where the hand time numbers were. The official electronic time was like 4.52 or 4.53. So I think there's not that. There's usually 2 to 3 wide receivers, whether it's Olave and Garrett Wilson, whether it's Hetero McMillan. I mentioned Jamar Chase and Neighbors and Harrison. Like, premier, like, he can be a number one for you in year one, and then by year 2, we're thinking about all-pro characterization. Typically, I think there is a lot in that should be selected between pick 20 and pick 40 in this class. So maybe that is kind of dictated these teams selling receivers getting a little bit more than we all expected.
Chris, a couple of edge rusher prospects for you before we wrap up here. One is TJ Parker from Clemson. He's a little bit down your list of edge rushers, but still a pretty good number, it seems. And I've seen him mock to the Bills a couple of times in the last few days. And I'd be excited for that because then Bulldog can finally live out his dream of getting a Bills jersey of an actual player with his name on it that he can wear out. And then also Jayshon Barham of Michigan. I saw a little buzz about him today.
Yeah, I saw Twitter chatter about him today too.
I'm not quite as high on Barham from Michigan. I think he's more of like a day 2 or early day 3 pick. Now, that's not to say that he won't be picked earlier, just where I have him evaluated. He is your classic, just like stand up, rush the passer. I don't think that he has the power and the pass rushing moves that TJ Parker has. And TJ Parker was a gigantic recruit at Clemson. Didn't quite live up to it, but he reminds me just his play on the field, his size, and his career arc in college reminds me a lot of Rashawn Gary, that he's like, was this monster recruit and was good, but never like changed the program completely. But when you watch him on film, you're like, oh, I can understand. Like, he set the edge there, made a play against the run. Then on second down, he did a swim move to the inside and won. I think he would be someone that I think Bills fans could get pretty excited about if they got him at 26. I'm slightly a little bit lower on him than that, but I think just based on where it seems to be that he could be selected, TJ Parker would make a lot of sense at 26. Jayshon Barham, more day 2 or day 3 for me.
One other edge guy I wanted to ask you about, because I don't think we've had a chance to talk about him since the Combine, and if we did, it was a few weeks ago. The kid from A&M with the short arms, Howell.
Yes, Howell.
Is this someone that you think would be, at 26, a good pick? Or because I've seen him mocked to the Bills a fair amount too.
He had the fastest 10-yard split of any edge rusher at the Combine, so he has extremely short arms, even shorter than Ruben Bain. It's like in the first percentile since 1999 at edge. So that is something that will presumably push him right into the Bills' wheelhouse in the late 20s. But the explosiveness we've heard, I think Brandon Beane's even said it, or just the general idea of they need more bend and speed. You guys have talked about it. That's Cassius Howell's game to a T. My comparison for him is Bryce Huff, who I think the Bills certainly know really well. He was a terrorizing pass rusher on the Jets for a long time and is just that classic stand-up rush linebacker who's maybe not going to be tremendous against the run, but I think in the right system where they're not asking him to do a variety of things, he can be that 8 to 12 sack, 50 to 70 pressure player. And I think outside of receiver, he might be my favorite idea right now for the Bills, even with the shorter arms, because last season, transferring to Texas A&M, it didn't really hurt him at all. Like, there was not, oh man, you see him a ton getting just devoured by these longer arm tackles. And I think that could be something that we hear Brandon Beane say, that he's glad that he measured in with shorter arms because it got Cassius Howell to number 26 overall.
Well, I guess probably Kenny Golladay is not a realistic or plausible idea. T.Y. Hilton is officially no longer such, as he has just announced his retirement. And he also played last 4 years ago. So who knows?
Just announced his retirement this second?
Like 5 minutes ago.
Wow.
I know. He hasn't played in 4 years.
It had long happened.
Was he here for a minute? Bulldog?
I don't think so. It was an idea a couple of times.
Okay.
I think, but I don't.
Well, that's dead.
I don't think that it ever got to, like, he might be coming. Not even like Colton Parayko.
No, not even that far.
Right.
No cup of coffee. Not even the Darius Slay level.
Right.
And it looks like, not to be like reporting during an interview, but it looks like Logan Wilson is retiring from the NFL, which was a Bills linebacker idea. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I just saw that as well. Yeah.
Very good, Chris. Again, the new site, draftgradebook.com. Check it out. Thanks for your time. We'll talk again next week.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Chris Trapasso. I'm distracted. This soccer game we're watching is hilarious so far. It's the Champions League, Liverpool and Galatasaray from Turkey.
Okay.
And the players on Galatasaray is up 1-0 in the first leg. They won the first leg. So it's a 2-leg thing, and it's total goals, right? Liverpool just scored, so this is different now. But every time one of their guys gets touched, it's a murder.
Yeah, like there's a lot of rolling around.
And the Liverpool manager is furious. He's holding up 5 fingers, I think, because 5 different players have just been, like, murdered on the field. They've all stayed in. They all get better.
Right.
That should really be there's a drinking game for you. Is he really hurt when you're watching soccer? Is he really hurt? This guy with the arm wrap is just, I'm sorry, I'll stop. He went down, he grabbed his arm, he's rolling all over the field. The Liverpool guys get all mad at him. He wraps his arm, and every time they showed him, they're definitely talking about it. He's holding his arm. Like, he has to continue. He's still playing out the role.
Show. Right.
He's holding, maybe it's a little sore.
Was that the guy that was rolling around for a while, and then the trainers were out there, and they got that spray can out, and, like, it looked like the Doors were playing or something, because there's so much of the spray blowing around.
I've seen a couple of those already.
It was like a fog machine at a concert.
Yes. I've seen a couple of guys get the spray can already.
Wow.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here at 803-0550. This is WGR.
The Buffalo Sabres continue their 4-game road trip tomorrow night against the San Jose Sharks. That'll be a 10 o'clock faceoff. You'd be able to hear that tomorrow night on WGR. Yesterday, Alex Tuch was out with an illness. His status will be updated tomorrow as well. The injury report brought to you by Hamburg Overhead Door. Is your garage door injured? Call the experts at Hamburg Overhead Door to get your door healthy again. Around the NHL, 6 games taking place tonight. 2 of them would affect the Sabres in some capacity. Carolina, hoping to maintain first place in the Eastern Conference. They take on the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. The Ottawa Senators continuing their chase for a wild card spot. They'll take on the Washington Capitals. In football, the Philadelphia Eagles trading a 2027 7th-round pick to the Carolina Panthers for backup quarterback Andy Dalton, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. Meanwhile, Bengals linebacker Logan Wilson has announced his retirement from the NFL after 6 seasons. Wilson was an unrestricted free agent. College hoops, the round of 64 gets going all day tomorrow. 4 of those games taking place in that round in Buffalo. 2 games to wrap up the play-in round, though, tonight before everything else gets going. SMU taking on Miami of Ohio for an 11 seed, while Lehigh faces off with Prairie View for the final 16 seed. Headlines brought to you by Paddock Chevrolet, with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Derek Kramer. You're listening to WGR.
When we traded up for Tremaine, you always say, okay, well, anytime I move down or move out of a pick, I still look on the board when that pick comes to see who we would have taken. So DJ Moore is a guy at 22, and so we actually asked about him at the deadline. We asked about a number of players, and Chicago was like adamantly no. Ran into those guys at the combine, and the tune had changed enough that they were open to listen if it made sense. And I know I was the only one they told that, but that's kind of how the DJ Moore kind of got going again was in Indy.
Brandon Bean on with Eric Wood. I saw on Twitter it's Eric's birthday.
Yes, I saw that too. Happy birthday.
What do you think? 41?
Teammate? Can we call him teammate? I mean,
yes.
He's been a part of our show for a very long time.
Hopefully he still is.
Yeah.
40.
Yeah. Okay.
40.
I saw that I don't know that he's coming for sure, but I know when it was announced that Louisville was coming to Buffalo for the NCAA basketball tournament that he was like, I got some things I got to rearrange, but I got to get to Buffalo to see my Cardinals. So I don't know if he's going to get here or not, but he was, I think, hoping to. So, not that we would have plans or anything with him, but I mean, I hope he gets here to see his team play.
We all got a tweet about Louisville. I got a text from an old friend about Georgia. Where do we eat? And Louisville, I think they were both. My friend's was about pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to hate this. You know what I'm going to say already. And the Louisville tweet was about chicken wings.
Yeah. I replied 2 or 3 times to that and took you out of the reply.
Oh, you did? Yeah, I didn't see anything from you.
Yeah, I didn't.
You did?
Because I know.
That's so good.
You're not. I don't know. You're not.
My take is they're chicken wings. They're fine anywhere.
Right, which is just incredible. They're not the same everywhere.
No, I know. But they're close enough. It's not like a steak or something.
This is what is vanilla ice cream or cucumbers my worst take ever, according to you? Which is it? Because this is your worst take of all time, and it's not even close.
You're telling me you've been out for wings and been unhappy?
Yes.
I don't get it.
Absolutely.
I don't get it.
Yes. Now, it doesn't happen a lot. There's a certain level of competence that, you can get away with that, they're fine.
Yeah.
But if I'm going out for wings, like, you know where I accept fine? When I
James Cook.
When I go into an app on my iPad at 7:00 on a Saturday night and I arrange to have some food brought to my house, the wings that arrive there, they're fine. They're going to be fine, right? If I'm making an effort to go somewhere to get wings, they're going to have to be better than just the corner bar. Like there are places that are just so much better than that.
Okay.
That if I'm going to make the effort, get some pants on and everything to go somewhere, I'm going to pick a place that I know is going to be like one of the best.
Okay. I just don't think there's that much of a range, but And I've said that, and I've been tested on that. And I've been to a couple places that makes that list. They make the list of places, and they're fine. It's wings.
Yeah, you're dug in.
You're the best for taking me off of that thread. That's very thoughtful.
I did not.
I do not need 50 tweets about
right.
wing places.
I did not need you involved in this at all because you're gonna come in out the top rope and you're gonna tell the guy to go to a grocery store and get some wings.
No, I almost never respond to any tweet that has more names in it than mine.
Right.
I don't play that game.
Right.
So I would not have come off any rope. But I was thinking it.
Right. Like, I had
go anywhere you want.
I had the thought to remove you.
There's only 200 places within 15 miles of the arena to get chicken wings. Go to any of them.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Find someplace close.
Well, you can definitely do that. We got this whoever this was that requested this information. I saw enough of the replies that I thought, and like, you know, there's people suggesting the places out in the suburbs. Like this person is downtown for basketball. They're not going to East Aurora. Okay, they're not going to Clarence. I think probably right. But there's enough close by that, you know, you can meet the threshold of like not just getting your run-of-the-mill average wings. So the guy, if the person that asked takes any of the 10 or 20, ideas that were presented to them, they're going to be fine.
Yes, that's right.
But there's play. I don't want to name names.
Everything has a better and a lesser, right? Everything, any food you can think of.
Yep.
Maybe not a gas station for gas. Do you have a gas station where you think the gas is better than the other gas station? I don't. I don't have that.
I think my dad probably used to when I was younger.
This is the good gas?
Yeah.
They have the good gas.
Right. I think that probably happened.
Could that actually have been right?
I have no idea.
No, you got to believe it. The car runs better on A gas than B gas.
Right.
I don't have that.
No. When it gets to something like this, again, I don't know. I don't get the impression. I think from following up, this person isn't going to both sessions. So I think they're in the clear. They're going to the early session, and I think they're not on like a time limit to get back. I think, which is good. But even so, like, I'm in town for basketball. I'm probably going to go somewhere that's within a few mile radius of the arena.
As you should.
Rather than make a trip further into South Buffalo, say, for example, which, you know, would be worth it. But I always tell people, like, there's one place that, you know, everyone raves about, and I love it. But there can be a wait. It's cash only. Like, you kind of got to know the handshake, right? You're signing up for something that could be arduous. And that's not always everyone's, you know, if you're out with friends, you know, maybe you don't want to wait 90 minutes for chicken wings. It's a little crazy.
Not to mention, all right, there's 2 points here. One is, I know, I have to own it. It's chicken wings. They're good. You know, it's not fine dining. They're good. It's Buffalo. They're good. I don't think there's a huge range. For me, I can't imagine being out to get wings and being like, oh, these are terrible. Something like that. Like, I don't think that there's really that much of a range, but I'm maybe on an island with that one.
I think you are, yeah.
But it's I was going to say something else. It's also, of course, this is always true with food. It's a personal preference. Who am I to tell you what you like? You know, I mean, I don't know. I could give you, if there were one wing place that everybody agreed was the best, you might not think it's the best. I mean, that's everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So, I don't know. Like, I like this, you like that. I'm going to tell the Louisville basketball team where the best place is. The team itself will have 20 different opinions on that if they've been to all the places. I think pizza, Georgia wanted to know, I got word.
See, I didn't get any.
That the University of Georgia, which is out by us, wanted to know, like, where to get pizza. And I would say there's a little bit of a wider range with pizza. You could get pizza wrong.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, God.
And I wouldn't want anybody to get pizza wrong.
No.
You know? I'm in a little bit of a pizza drought.
Meaning you haven't had it in a while, or you haven't found, you've been trying different places and you're not happy?
Yeah, I've been searching a little bit.
Yeah.
And the last time my family wanted pizza, I picked a new place because of this stage that I'm in here where I'm sort of a little bit disappointed recently. And I liked it. My wife thought it was way too salty and reminded her of school pizza.
Oh, boy.
Which that's like almost my favorite pizza ever is school pizza. I love school pizza.
Nobody wants that.
I love school pizza. I don't. The shape was the rectangles. I don't know.
The Pizza Supreme we're talking about here. All right.
No.
That's what it was called in West Seneca. Like Pizza Day was Pizza Supreme.
Oh, really?
And it was a little square.
Yeah, it's rectangles.
Yeah.
I loved the school
pizza on white bread. Basically, I think is what it was.
I know it's bad. Like I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you it's better than
right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like the next time it's going to be pizza night in my house. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to look for someplace new.
Yeah.
To see if you can't sort of hit a new home run, and the place we like the most won't deliver to our house.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So that sort of we had to cross them off last time because nobody could get there, and they wouldn't come to us. Georgia, good luck out there, Georgia.
Yeah.
I gave you a couple. I hope you got the message. I gave a couple of suggestions, but I don't really know. Around here.
Well, yeah, and now if they're listening to this conversation, they might be wondering whether they want to trust someone who thinks all wings are created equal.
Relatively speaking.
Which I think, could be a problem. Yeah.
But if you wanted to go out for steak, there's only a few places you would even go. Like there are a lot of places you would just never even consider.
Or
for a nice steak dinner.
Places that have it on the menu that I'm never ordering it in a million years. Yeah, 100%.
So that's where wings are different.
Sure. I think that's right. There is a certain level. I think in order to be in business at all and have it on the menu, you have to at least be, decent. You just can't get away with. If you're serving terrible wings in Buffalo, you're going to go out of business.
Terrible wings.
You just can't. If you're screwing it up, it's this.
You worked in the business. What is that? What is terrible wings?
It is oil is dirty. Like you're too cheap, or you don't have the time. You're so busy, you can't clean out, can't change the oil. Dumping one of those fryers is arduous. Like at least it was back when I was doing it. I don't know. Maybe the cleaning, the technology has changed. Maybe it's a safer, easier way to do it. We'd have to wait for a fryer to. We had like 4 fryers at Santora's, and on a Friday or Saturday, like you're using them all, and the whole time. And if they're dirty, you gotta wait for it to cool off enough to safely clean it, and you can just run through a whole dinner service with oil that is not quite right, and that can impact it. You have trouble keeping it as hot as it needs to be. Now you're getting soggy wings instead of crispy wings, so undercooked is a problem. Overcooked can be a problem too, because you overcorrect, So there, and then I don't even get me started about sauces.
Oh, well. Okay, I won't.
Well, you can screw that up too. But mostly it's how they're cooked.
I just love that
I would say.
You responded to the group thread and took my name off of it.
Yep.
I think that's so funny. It's appreciated. I mean, I would have been fine. It's still a lot of tweets. Right. It's just a couple more that I missed.
Yep.
But it's just funny that Mike's not going to like this.
I think I took Joe out too. Just not for any. I don't know him to have ridiculously bad wing opinions, but I just was like, I don't need to tag everyone in this.
I think the cucumber reference is that you once said cucumber was the perfect food.
I don't remember.
And that was outrageous.
I just know I really liked them a lot.
I had a friend. This is way back to that one show we did in Toronto, at the hotel in Toronto, the hotel lobby in Toronto,
right.
And I had a friend that said that in her opinion, the perfect food is graham crackers. And I brought that to you. And I think, you laughed and thought that was amazing. Like what a comment.
Right.
As I did. And then you said, I think I would pick cucumbers, which trumped it. Do people still say trumped? It just took it to a new level. The best.
Well, that's what I was going for.
Yeah, yes, you're a showman. You're a born showman. Sal Capaccio at 5 here on WGR. Want a funny one from the world of cards?
Sure, hit me.
How much of a card collector were you ever?
Never. I mean, paper route money at the corner store.
Okay. The backs are funny sometimes, especially the old cards.
Yeah.
I found a 1961 Fleer Jim Otto card today in my house. And it's fill in the blank. Ready? This is a comment made about Jim Otto.
All
Young
right.
Jim Otto.
Okay.
Future Hall of Fame center. Quote, he does everything well, but is particularly good at this.
Holding.
No, that would be funny. What possible answers could there be, right? He's a center. I mean...
Blocking.
Blocking is the answer.
Blocking.
Right. Here's a center in the NFL.
Holding adjacent.
Here's holding legal.
Right. Legal holding.
It's not a insult. He's really good at holding. He led the league in holding. Here's a comment on the back of a card, 1961 Fleer, Jim Otto. He'd go to the Hall of Fame. He does everything well, but is particularly good at blocking. Wow. Damn.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Damn. Everything. What else is there?
Is he a better blocker than he is at snapping the ball? Because he's the only guy who has to snap the ball. You better be damn good at that.
Is he fast?
Better have that locked down, Jim Otto.
I guess he did.
Yeah.
Sal next here on WGR.
We've been living in sin so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go! All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over. It's about time. To all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. Roller coaster. I want to go down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole of life. And now it's about to leave. Oh, roller coaster.
The Buffalo Sabres kept up their winning ways yesterday with a 2-0 shutout over the Vegas Golden Knights. They'll continue their 4-game road trip tomorrow night against the San Jose Sharks. Alex Tuch was out of last night's game due to an illness. His status will be updated tomorrow. Injury report brought to you by Hamburg Overhead Door. Is your garage door injured? Call the experts at Hamburg Overhead Door to get your door healthy again. Sabres and Sharks tomorrow night. That faceoff will be at 10 p.m. You'd be able to hear that right here on WGR. Around the NHL, 6 games taking place tonight. 2 of them can affect the Sabres in some capacity here. The Carolina Hurricanes looking to maintain first place in the Eastern Conference. They'll take on the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. Meanwhile, the Ottawa Senators continue their frantic chase for a wild card spot. They'll face off with the Washington Capitals. To football, the Minnesota Vikings yesterday reportedly signing offensive tackle Ryan Vandermark from the Bills to an offer sheet. The Bills would have 4 days to match the signing or else lose Vandermark to Minnesota and receive no compensation. The Philadelphia Eagles making a trade for backup quarterback Andy Dalton. Philadelphia sending a 2027 7th-round pick to the Carolina Panthers. This according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. College hoops, the round of 64 gets going all day tomorrow, and 4 games in the opening round taking place in Buffalo, but there are 2 games to wrap up in the playing round first. SMU taking on Miami of Ohio tonight for an 11 seed. Lehigh will face off with Prairie View for the last 16 seed. This update's brought to you by Paddock Chevrolet, with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Derek Kramer. You're listening to WGR.
It's Sal Capaccio.
Sal Capaccio. Sal Capaccio. Sal Capaccio. Sal Capaccio. Sal Capaccio. Sal Capaccio. Sal Capaccio.
On WGR.
Play-in fever. 2 games last night, 2 more tonight. We'll talk to Sal in a moment here. He was down at the arena today. Maybe still there, I don't know, with teams practicing. Buffalo bracket, our section of the bracket tomorrow and Saturday. Michigan and Michigan State not playing each other, but both of those schools are here for this weekend. I've been wearing my visors again lately. One of my favorite visors is Buckeyes. Should I not wear it? Like, is the scene tomorrow at Seneca Buffalo Creek filled with, in theory, NCAA tournament goers? Do I not want to wear? Is it like that? Do I not want to wear an Ohio State visor to the show tomorrow?
How much does it mean to you?
Not much.
Okay, then I say no. Like
I don't like thinking there are things that I can't wear places.
I know. So funny. Someone in the chat today, I have a hard time monitoring that aggressively while we're on the air, but I looked in there and somebody said to me, like, look, you want to wear your Red Sox stuff and be a Red Sox fan in the privacy of your own home, that's fine. But,
oh, wow,
repping a Boston team on your Buffalo show is not okay, basically. And I logged in while we were talking to Chris Trapasso. I logged in.
You did not.
The whole hoop you got to jump through because there's like a separate thing. You need a note from your phone to get it. I did all that just to say, I'm going to wear this hat every day now. I'm not, but I mean, that was my answer to
you entered the chat.
Yes.
Don't you know anything?
My answer for you can't do that is I'm going to do it every day.
Yeah, you go ahead and do it every day. Just don't say it. Like I have to tell you what to do. Sal Capaccio with us on the Wester Hotline. I know Sal was for his show and for some amount of time this afternoon at the arena as the teams took the floor to get used to the place with games all day tomorrow. Sal, how was today? Great?
I loved it. You guys, I think, know I'm a big college basketball fan. I love the pageantry of it. Went to a big college basketball school. And honestly, Matt Rittenauer, who I think SID, I think is his title. My apologies if not, but Canisius, like he's been the one that's kind of run this in Buffalo with the Metro Atlantic Conference, which is the host conference. His staff is amazing. They really make everything easy for the fans, for the media, and top notch. And it was great today. Went down there, saw Jimmy Jackson, LaForce, excuse me. They're going to be doing the game. Jason Benetti was down there today. They're all getting ready, doing their thing. And then, of course, you had the coach press conferences and the player press conferences. Everything's just super smooth the way it runs, totally on time. They go out there, they do the shoot around. People come out for the fans, people bringing their kids. Just a super cool day. I just loved being a part of it and seeing it in Buffalo and doing a radio show right there on press row on the court and the basketballs, being bounced around. It was awesome.
Is it over for the day? I know teams it's 8 teams, right? Yeah. So it's all wrapped up.
Yeah, so every team basically practiced for 40 minutes, and Georgia just wrapped up. 4:15 to 4:45 they went. 4:55, excuse me. I wasn't there. I had already left.
Now they're going to go
I'd seen most of the teams today, and I hadn't seen all of them today. But Georgia just wrapped up. It wasn't like a regular practice. They did some practice stuff. It was more for fans, like a Sabres open practice, right?
Yeah.
You'd go to those things in the years past, and we were going to dunk a little bit, or we're going to, take some half-court shots. But, they're going to do a little bit of practicing. That was cool. And, I just think it's super cool to have some of these teams here. We have great name brands here in Buffalo. And, of course, Brian Hodgson, a Western New York native. He actually came on the Extra Point show today. It was great. He saw me. Brian and I know each other. And he literally walked over from practice and put on the headset and came on the air. And, I mean, it was cool. Obviously, I know he's making me feel good. But he said, there's only one man in America I would do this for to leave my team practicing. It was you. And that was just like a cool moment to kind of be a part of that and to take it all in. You know what I mean?
That is awesome. Do you remember, you probably weren't here when the tournament first came here in, what was that? Was that 2000?
2000 it was here.
I believe so. Yep.
I can remember.
I was not.
And even other years afterward, maybe the Frozen Four qualifies as this. I can remember talking on the air about everyone being really nervous about restaurants and bars. Like, is there enough stuff close by? Like, people are going to walk, they don't know where to go. There's nothing there, right? I mean, the Harbor Center didn't exist. It was just a parking lot, and like everything was like on the other side of the thruway overpass or something. Like, it was all so complicated. And I don't know. I know that the area has changed a lot. See Harbor Center for one example, but mostly it's still kind of largely the same places that are still in business nearby were in business then, and I just don't hear anyone really worrying about it. Mostly I've heard some clamor about how the sessions are closer together than they used to be, and that's going to make it a little more challenging. In fact, I got a text from a friend of mine who's a hoop fanatic, goes to Canisius games like crazy every year, and is going to both sessions, is like, we're probably just going to do the food truck wrangler scene outside the arena because there's not enough time. But I remember it being such a point of pride. Like, and we don't want to be embarrassed. People are coming from out of town. We need there to be places for them to go, and they're going to be wandering the streets hungry or something. And I just want to say I think we've come a long way. I mean, it's over 20 years.
I mean,
but I don't
Bulldog, like the Harbor Center wasn't there yet, right?
Right.
I mean, think about it. This huge building that houses this hotel right there. A lot of breweries now have spun up around the area, right? You look right across the street. There's a couple of places. I'm going to be at Hartman's tomorrow. Little plug here. I know you guys are going to be out on location, not far from where I am. I'm going to be at Hartman's tomorrow morning from 10 to 12, which is perfect timing. People can go there. They can get a drink, something to eat, and they're opening at 10, and then they can literally just take a little bit of time, take your time, because tip at 1:30.
Yeah, and that's relatively new. Like where Resurgence is down on Ohio Street, that was a wasteland.
All of that.
That is a lot of that is new, but it's also not. It's not like a 5-minute walk either. I don't think mostly. Maybe it is. It's close.
I just did that. I just did that walk actually last week for an event, and I was at the arena and went there, and it took me 14 minutes. And I walk fast, but it was 14 minutes.
Yep.
It's not too bad,
no.
right, to do the walk. But you could do that, and I think and it's not going to be terrible weather. I don't think. That's the one thing I heard today. I will tell you what I heard today from people I asked from media coming in from out of town. They have no issue with the food. It's great. It is a little colder than they thought or maybe anticipated. It's that biting buffalo cold right now. Maybe next couple of days it's going to get a little bit better. But everybody I've talked to has really loved coming here and said they like coming here for this. Buffalo does it right. They go to other cities for it. They do it right. And some of the big college basketball writers and broadcasters are here in town for it. So I like that aspect of it. You're right, Mike. The one criticism, and this is mine too, the sessions are too close together. So I went back and looked. The last time the tournament was here in 2022, the second game of the first session and the first game of the second session, if you take the two tip times, 3 hours and 40 minutes. It's only 3 hours and 5 minutes now, or 10. So, I mean, it's an extra 40, 45 minutes you had back then, theoretically. However, I will say, and actually Pete Gwelly made this point when we asked him yesterday at the press conference to introduce all this. And I agree with him about this, which is, look, that's if you're really going to stay for all of the first session and be on time for the second session. A lot of times, what happens, guys, right? North Dakota State, Michigan State, it's a little bit of a blowout. Let's go get dinner, right? We'll be back in time for the second session. Or you don't have to be on time maybe for the first game of the second session. It's a long night. I mean, those sessions matter that time if you're going to really make the day out of it at KeyBank Center.
It is interesting that it's truncated like that, because I don't know why that it needed to be. If you're the first games of the afternoon, then you'd be normally the first games of the evening. But Buffalo is not the first games of the afternoon, as you're saying, but they are the first games of the evening, which is why you have that. 2004, I'll add one more point. 2004, the tournament was here, and my brother-in-law went to DePaul, and DePaul was here. And we were in the DePaul section getting tickets through him, and a couple of those fans were complaining that there was nowhere to go in Buffalo. Like you were saying, this is 22 years ago.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing about that night is that it was maybe the last game of the day, and my friend, who was a real basketball junkie, was there with his wife, who was not into it. And the game goes to overtime, and I'm sure she was like, oh, are you serious?
Great bonus basketball.
Overtime now? We're not even done yet? And whoever it was, DePaul or Dayton, you know this, scored the first basket. There's the tip, go in and score, and she immediately got up and put her coat on because she thought the game was over.
Sudden death overtime.
And that game went to 2 overtimes, by the way.
Oh, God, this poor woman.
Somebody on DePaul, I think, went 0 for 10 from the line in that game, but they still won. Okay.
Wait, real quick, Mike, I do want to add something because I'm talking with you here, and I know that you know Carlin Hartman, who's down at Florida, associate head coach, and you went to high school with him. So we were on a text thread because Matt Bove also knows Jonathan Sapphire, who's also on the Florida staff, believe it or not. He went to Williamsville North. So we were on a text thread going back and forth, and I mentioned to Carlin about Roddy Gale. Roddy Gale is a player for Michigan. He's a good player. He was a starter. He's more of a 6-man role now. Really good player. He went to Newport High School and then transferred out. But anyway, I was like, hey, Roddy Gale, from Buffalo, a lot of Buffalo connections. Mike, did you know? I didn't know this. Carlin told me. Carlin's son just committed to Michigan. He's going to play there starting next year.
Yes, Joe.
Yep. I mean, that's pretty cool, right? I mean, I love that. It's lot of West New York ties in this tournament. Roddy Gale is one of them, obviously, who's playing Niagara Falls, New York, and went to Newport High School.
Very cool. Let's get to some football. Sal Capaccio with us on the West Shore Hotline. I was checking out a Bill Barnwell column today at ESPN.com. He went through every team or maybe just every contender and what he thinks they might still need in free agency. And for the Bills, he put left guard. Makes sense.
I read this.
Edwards leaving. And he brought up two veteran names, Joel Bitonio and Kevin Zeitler, been in the league a long time each, as possibilities. How pressing a need is that, Sal? Would you expect the Bills to sign somebody, even maybe a name we would know, at left guard, or might they have a different plan?
I would expect another veteran to join this group at some point. I think it's kind of been their MO for, the last several years, maybe not the last couple of years because they've kind of pretty much had 10 guys intact. But if you go back, you can name some names, but they would bring in guys that, guy play for the Jets here or Patriots there. And, he's just a little bit of depth piece in case we need somebody. And, maybe by the end of training camp, he's just no longer on the team because they feel good about what they have, or he actually winds up being somebody on the team. I would expect that at some point. I mean, let's face it, guys. They have 64 guys on the roster now. You got to get to 90. Well, how are you going to do that? And you need offensive linemen for camp. So it would just make sense by numbers they do that. And I would expect some sort of veteran. That said, I think you go to OTAs right now, and it's Alec Anderson starting at left guard. Yep. That is your left guard right now, and it's basically his job to lose to me. They're gonna roll with Alec Anderson until he gives them a reason not to roll with him. And losing David Edwards was tough. He's a good player. He made $15 million from the Saints. I mean, that's, to me, you're going from $15 million to paying Alec Anderson $3 million. I know Alec Anderson isn't the player David Edwards right now in his career, but I don't know if there's a $12 million difference there. And I think the Bills can live with that as long as they get the kind of play they think they can get from Alec Anderson. But behind him, they do have guys who've been with them a little bit. Chase Lunt was drafted last year. He's a tackle/guard. He can play both. They'll figure out what they want to do with him. And then, of course, you have Tylan Grable, who was the swing tackle for Ryan Vandermark 2 years ago, and then he got a concussion last year, and Vandermark took it over, and now we have the Vandermark offer sheet situation. But they do have guys that I think they feel like they could put there, but I think they have to add numbers.
Not only did Edwards get that big money, but I read this piece by Barnwell that Mike is referencing as well, and he pointed out that Edwards, he couldn't find another player who got guaranteed money in the third year of a free agent contract, and Edwards did.
Good for him.
Right. I also think it'll be maybe you say it's Anderson's job to lose. I get that. Like, he's the top. Somebody's got to be the top guy on the in the pecking order. But I would expect that to be somewhat competitive, right? I mean, I think if you're the Bills, you want to leave open the opportunity that either one of the other guys you mentioned, Grable or Lunt, could win the job, or this veteran that we don't know yet, Mekhi Becton or somebody. I don't know, depending on how the marketplace looks when you get to, it's like even into May.
Yeah, if you bring a guy like Bitonio, I mean, that's a name. Then we're gonna watch, right? We're gonna be like, okay, let's see what happens here. And when you're an Alec Anderson or somebody else, and you have a Joel Bitonio behind you, things can play out a little bit different there. And you're looking over your shoulder knowing, that guy's ready here. And why do you bring a guy like that in? Maybe it is to start. But, we'll see. Now, Wyatt Teller was out there. I believe he'd signed with the Texans now, though, right? But that's a guy that you would tie to the Bills and think that, if they really want to kind of push Alec or have a need there to go over top him, maybe that'd be a guy. They never did that. So I think this team, knowing what I know about how they feel about Alec Anderson and just how they operate, I think they're leaning on Alec Anderson right now to be that guy, but they certainly can be open to it, and they're going to create some more competition. I have not seen that Cedric Van Pran Granger could play guard since he came in the league. I think for a hot minute at training camp his rookie year, they put him there for a minute, and then they put him right back to center. But I do wonder, because his path to center is blocked now, right? Like, to start, I just do wonder if they kind of experiment with that and see it throughout OTAs. That's the time to do that, just to see if he can do it.
Yeah. I saw Ryan Bates' name on this list, too, of veteran free agent guards. Old friend Ryan Bates, just to throw another name in there.
And by the way, versatile guy, right? They love the versatile guys. They love all their. Alec Anderson's versatile. Chase Lunt is versatile. Tylan Grable's versatile. All these guys are. He would fit that.
Yeah, I think I even asked you last week one day if Anderson could fall prey to the same thing Bates used to fall prey to, right?
Mm-hmm.
That, he's so valuable being able to play three positions that we don't want to assign him one as a starter, because then we lose that flexibility. And I've wondered that about Anderson. So I don't think a significant veteran guard ad myself is in the cards. Someone to compete, sure, but not like a value. He's going to be our starter guy. I suppose it could end that way through a competition. Is there a spot on the roster still? Like, I know they got pretty busy late last week with the secondary and a couple of safeties, and we're feeling a little better about that. Is there a spot on that defense specifically that you think still could use a guy who could matter, who would play, a significant part in a rotation? I'm thinking maybe nose tackle, because Walker is sort of he's the size for that spot, but I'm not sure that you're not limiting what he can do for you if he has to play nose tackle and just like eat up blockers in space, because I feel like even though he's got the frame for it, I feel like he can do more than that. So I'm wondering if there's not, like, DJ Reader's name is still coming up a lot, and he's still out there. Like, I think that idea is really warmed up for me.
This is the first year that I was not pounding the table for the Bills to sign DJ Reader because I love DJ Reader so much, and then now suddenly, like, DJ Reader is out there, and they can go. I'm like, yeah, okay, right, but like seriously, like I've always been like, okay, that ship has sailed. I've tried that enough. I agree with you. I agree on everything you just said. Deion Walker, I think, to me, is their idea right now, but you might be pigeonholing him to a spot where you're not maximizing what he can do for you by doing that, right? And is he a true, like, what you want for that position? You don't have to have this unbelievable anchor, big dude at nose tackle to run the defense they're going to run. You don't have to, but you'd still like to have that option to have somebody there. And yeah, a guy like DJ Reader, but I do think that's the spot. To me, it's the up the middle. It's the interior. Mm-hmm. And by the way, if you listen to or read, Brandon Beane did something with the Buffalo News and Sal Mayorana of the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle, and inside those pieces basically was him talking about Deion Walker being able to play nose, Dwayne Carter being able to play nose, and also Ed Oliver playing the 3 technique, so sliding out, not being over the nose, and same thing with TJ Sanders. That's where those guys are going to be. Remember what we talked about last week? Mm-hmm. 5-man surface. You're going to have a nose guard. Those 2 guys will be outside of them, and then you'll have your Chubb and your Rousseau outside of them to give you your 5 players up front. So I think that, and then I do wonder about up the middle and at linebacker. Although you guys know I give way more credence to them thinking that maybe Dorian Williams can be a starter at that position than maybe a lot of other people would.
If you guys have your pen and paper out, cross off Greg Dortch as a potential wide receiver signing. He's going to Detroit, reportedly. Sal, can you see another veteran receiver signing or a veteran receiver signing? And is it going to probably be somebody like the guys we've seen the Bills run through in the last couple of years, which is to say, maybe a deal like this for Dortch in Detroit, 1 year and not a lot of money? Could you see that?
I could see it, sure. Again, numbers. They need numbers. What do they have right now? They have how many receivers on the roster? They have 9. DJ Moore, Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Josh Palmer. 8. Tyrell Shavers, McCole Hardman, Steven Gosnell, and Jalen Virgil. I mean, there's room. You're going to have to – they typically bring like 17 receivers to camp, right? Something like that, I think. Maybe a little less than that. But there will be somebody out there. But you know what you do? You wait till the draft happens. You maybe figure that out. Or you could say, let's add to the depth before the draft. That way we don't have to worry about that a little bit in the later rounds of the draft. So absolutely, I could see that. Maybe let the market settle a little bit and figure out if there's somebody out there. But there's no doubt they usually do something like that anyway.
Who do you want for the Sabres in the first round?
Now, I would love for them to beat Boston. That would make me so happy. Just play Boston and beat them. But since I can't guarantee a win, I want the best way to advance, and right now that looks like Detroit. So I think that's what I would go, because I'd be all about winning, not necessarily just saying what makes me feel the best. Unless you could guarantee me they beat Boston, which I think they can still beat Boston, that would be the team I would want to play.
I said Detroit too, and part of my thinking, I think you'd agree, is like that could be a really fun series with fans going to games in either city. It's accessible. Both teams have been out of the playoffs for so long. Isn't Detroit second on the list of droughts? And
yes.
I mean, yeah, they're beatable. I guess I got to say at this point for the Sabres, they're all beatable. But Detroit, I agree, and I think that could be a fun one. There's no playoff history, literally, between the Sabres and the Red Wings either. Let's start some.
Yeah. We got to jump back to football because you mentioned Vandemark in the offer sheet in the course of talking about this left guard point from the Barnwell piece at ESPN.com. But take us through what exactly happened. There's an offer sheet. The Bills have some rights. How likely is it you think that they match? They've got 4 days left, I think, to match, right?
Yeah, I didn't think they would even give him the qualifying offer because I thought that was a little too rich for a swing tackle when you already didn't give that same qualifying offer to Alec Anderson and got something less from him, right? You negotiated a deal with Alec Anderson. Alec Anderson was in the same boat. They didn't want to give him the 3.5, or they didn't give him the $3.5 million offer sheet, the lowest qualifying tender. They worked out a lower deal, $3 million. So to me, didn't seem like you'd do that for Vandermark. They did, maybe knowing, okay, well, let's just see where this goes, but we like the player. Obviously they do. So last night, Aaron Wilson reported, after it was reported that he got the offer sheet, Aaron Wilson, who covers the Texans, put out a tweet that said the offer sheet from the Vikings is 1 year, $4.2 million. Shortly after that, that tweet disappeared, but everything else about it was still the same except the number. And he also added the agents in there. And I'm thinking, just me thinking, because I know how this game is played, I'm thinking the agents were like, hey, don't put the amount in there. We don't want that out there, but we'll still give you the info. So I'm going to assume it's 1 year, $4.2 million, but I don't know that. That's about $700,000 more guaranteed than Bills were already willing to pay. So the question is this. Do the Bills feel that $700,000 is too much for them to say, no, we were already maxed out, or that's not that much, we can absorb that, it's less than $1 million? Or do they say, you know what, good for Ryan Vandermark, he's not going to start for us, that's too much to pay, a non-starter, it clears our cap a little bit, and we're going to let him walk? They have 5 days to make that decision, 4 days now.
Yeah, it's not an easy equation. I was talking about this with my son last night, and I'm like, well, $700,000, $800,000. You like the player enough to put the 3.5 on him, so just pay the markup. It's not that big a deal, but yeah, like I don't know how the equation works. Like what kind of value is there in that for a backup player? I mean, there's comfort in having a backup you feel like you can trust, but it's also a lot of money overall. $4.3 million is a lot of money for a backup, I think. So yeah, maybe it's not an easy just match, but at first blush I thought, oh, they'll just match that. That's not that much money.
The other thing to note for everybody here is the Bills get no compensation if they don't match because Ryan Vandermark was not drafted. If he had been drafted in the 7th round and everything exactly the same happened the way it is, they'd get a 7th round return if they matched it. But because he was undrafted, it basically goes to it's the original round, compensation, which original round is UDFA. So They get nothing. And they also wouldn't get anything from the NFL with a comp pick if they don't match. So it's basically just, do they want to pay him or not?
Right. Okay, Sal, maybe we'll run into you tomorrow. We'll see. Have a great day.
All right, you two guys. Thanks a lot.
That's our Sal Capaccio on the Western Hotline. His appearances are brought to you by New York's only outlet liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet?
Feel free to take on that Sabres question. Another win last night, 803-0550 is the number. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. We'll be back after sports. This is WGR.
The Buffalo Sabres will continue their 4-game road trip tomorrow night against the San Jose Sharks. That will be a 10 p.m. face-off tomorrow night. You'd be able to hear that right here on WGR. Forward Alex Tuch was out of last night's game with an illness. His status will be updated tomorrow. Elsewhere around the NHL, 6 games taking place tonight, 2 that can affect the Sabres in some capacity. The most important one, the Carolina Hurricanes trying to maintain first place in the Eastern Conference. They're tied with Buffalo in points. They'll take on the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight, looking to get themselves ahead. The Ottawa Senators continue their frantic chase for a wild card position. They'll take on the Washington Capitals tonight. In football, the Minnesota Vikings have signed Bills offensive tackle Ryan Vandermark to an offer sheet. According to NFL Network's Tom Pelissero, the Bills would have 4 days to match the signing, or they will lose Vandermark with no compensation. The Philadelphia Eagles traded a 2027 7th-round pick to the Carolina Panthers for quarterback Andy Dalton, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. Meanwhile, Bengals and Cowboys linebacker Logan Wilson announced his retirement from the NFL after 6 seasons. College hoops, the round of 64 gets going tomorrow. 4 of those games taking place in Buffalo. One headline from the Buffalo games, Louisville, who will take on South Florida. They will be without freshman Mikel Brown Jr. Brown averages 18.2 points per game for Louisville this season. 2 games in the play-in round to wrap up. SMU taking on Miami of Ohio for an 11 seed, while Lehigh will square off with Prairie View for the last 16 seed in the tournament. This update's brought to you by Paddock Chevrolet, with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Derek Kramer. This is WGR.
You're the Bills front office. The obvious wrench in the plans here is that the Bills don't have that second-round pick anymore, and I thought Ted Hurst would be a perfect round 2 selection. But there's certainly scenarios where Ted Hurst is available in the 3rd round. The size, the rebounding ability, he's legitimately good in contested catch situations, very fast, tested very well at the combine. And Denzel Boston reminds me so much of Kenny Galladay, but is that someone you want to pick at 26 overall? Probably not. It wouldn't be a drastic reach, but I would just be similar to how I felt about Keon Coleman.
Chris Trapasso with us earlier today, a regular guest of ours during this time of year, the draft coming up in late April. If you missed it, check it out on the Odyssey app, Audacy. The Mets just got me.
How? What happened?
I hate that I succumbed. The Mets tweeted about how this year at the ballpark, up for a challenge, 9 beers, 9 dogs, 9 innings. And it looks like there's a box where you get 9 hot dogs, they look short, and 9 beers in this box. Pretty heavy.
It's a big box, yeah.
Pretty big box.
It's like a treasure chest.
Doesn't say anything about how much it costs or what do I win.
Uh-huh.
Right? I mean, what's the challenge? What are the terms? Tell me, Mets.
Yeah.
What happens if I do it? Is it just like I can buy 9 hot dogs and 9 beers together? Can't I already do that? Can't I do that anywhere I want, anytime I want?
Right.
Just I want 9 of each.
Do I get everything for free if I do it? Do I get tickets to a future game comped?
Right.
Like what's the incentive to haul down 9 hot dogs and 9 beers in 9 innings?
You probably can't always just buy 9 beers, right? There's probably a limit at the concession stands. But
right.
I can just do this on my own.
They probably don't give you the 9 all at once, in other words. Like even despite I haven't seen this graphic, so I don't know. Maybe it's misleading.
See, I would say look at the Mets Twitter, but then they got you too.
Right, I don't want to get got.
So I clicked on it. I clicked on the link.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you know it?
Poison.
I hate that I did it.
Yeah.
And nowhere does it say anything about this 999 challenge and nothing. It's just it takes you to a page where you can buy tickets. And of course it does.
Good job, Mets. Yeah. Right.
I just want to know, like, what does it cost?
Right.
What should it cost at a Mets game? $100?
9 beers, 9 hot dogs. Yeah, like close to $10 a piece.
Yeah.
Right, like maybe $8 for the dogs, 12 for the beer, like whatever, around $10.
That's $200 almost.
Like $10 an item. Yeah, right. It's $180.
Just give me some information here, Mets.
Yeah.
No, they want me to buy tickets to see them play the Pirates. That's a bad job. Let's be better than that.
Yeah, I agree. They should follow through. If they're gonna tempt you with some sort of a challenge, such as 9 beers, 9 dogs, 9 innings. Yeah, let me know what the parameters are. What are the rules? What do I need to do, and why am I trying to do it exactly?
Yes,
because I'm not going to say that this would speak for me. 20, 30 years ago, longer, 40 years ago. I think I'm going to need a reason to eat 9 hot dogs and probably drink 9 beers.
Yes, because how impressed am I supposed to be if you do it? How impressed do you think your friends are if you do it? I think your friends are probably like, okay, that's weird and that's gross.
Right.
Some people's friends would, wow, that's amazing. I might have to try that. But I think most people would think, oh, that's gross. What would your wife think? Hey, honey, guess what I did today? I went to a Mets game.
Yeah,
ate 9 hot dogs.
Not super impressed.
And drank 9 beers. Like, oh, honey, come here. I kind of doubt that would be the reaction you would get.
Yeah, I think that's
in
right.
most cases.
Yes, right.
Now, if your wife does it,
but I got a keychain.
I got a keychain for it. I got a you were here.
I got a snow globe with our daughter's name on it.
You conquered the 999 challenge with the date. If your wife did it, would you be impressed? Or anyone's wife? I don't mean you necessarily. My wife would not attempt it, as she is a vegetarian, so they'd have to have veggie dogs.
Yeah,
which are probably less filling.
I don't know. It's
maybe not
the same shape and mass. I mean, it probably maybe healthier for you.
I mean, probably
you'd hope.
You would hope, or else.
Right.
Imagine something less good for you than a hot dog.
Right.
It's just like
that's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
No matter what it is. Yeah, but I love to eat hot dogs. Right. And that's another one, like from our earlier conversation, where, well, I mean, how many places that sell hot dogs are like hot dog specialty places?
Right. And they're all great.
They're all going to be great.
You have a preference for charbroiled versus the griddle. Okay, fine.
Or the maker
right.
of the hot dog.
Yeah, you like the Greek places, or you like the charbroiled with the pickles and the relish or whatever,
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all the bar is sufficiently cleared almost anywhere you go.
Back to hockey. So the playoffs start exactly 1 month from today, April 18th.
Oh no!
What?
It's the first. Just go ahead. I just I'm going to Montana. I'm going to miss the start of the playoffs.
Oh.
I didn't even realize
it.
I'm going to miss. I mean, that's a weekend. Anyway,
and they're getting close to being in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Game 1.
I'm not going to be here. Flights are booked. Reservations have been made. Deposits are in. There's no.
Is Montana a place where you can find the NHL playoffs? I mean, you have a phone and an iPad.
I'm going to say yeah. The question is, we're there. I mean, it'll be nighttime, even with the time change. Just like holing up in the room to watch a hockey game while we're there to go hiking in the Rocky Mountains
at 4:00
seems kind of like I don't know. That could be
interesting.
That could be tough for me.
Interesting.
that might be tough for me.
You're gonna miss the start.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to barge in with that, but you said the date. Like, I know this, but I haven't really connected it. Like, I know when I'm going. You know what it is? I booked the parking spot thing today for the. I'm going to leave at the airport. I did that today. So the dates are on my mind more than any day since I booked the trip. Because since I booked the trip, I don't think about 16th to the 20th of April because whatever, it's not here yet. But today I was thinking about the date. So when you said April 18th, I'm like, oh no.
Sounds like I might be about to co-host with your son for the first time.
Right, maybe. Yes, he's not invited on this Montana trip.
Okay. Is Ottawa getting annoyed with the standings? I'm not sure this is right that all these teams seem like they're winning most games. Ottawa has not really made up ground. Have they?
No.
Boston, Montreal goes to overtime. Detroit rallies to beat Calgary.
I feel like they have been around 3 to 5 points out the whole time. So, but I'm just looking at I've got the standings open, and I don't have to squint or take my glasses off because the font is huge. It's old man font. Detroit and Boston, at least, ahead of them. Ottawa's 7-1-2 in their last 10 games. Detroit is 4-4-2. Boston 4-3-3. Even Montreal's 5-3-2. So they must have gained some ground. So I must be mistaken about them being 3 to 5 points out, because the record over the last 10 tells you that they have closed at least like a 3 or 4 point gap over the last 10 games on those teams. But they're still, they still got a lot of work to do to get there.
That would be pretty tense. It's not like they've had tons of playoff success in recent years either.
Last year was like a breakthrough year for them. They were the one of the three. Buffalo, Detroit, really the four. Buffalo, Detroit, Ottawa, and Montreal have sort of been in this bucket below, Tampa, Toronto, Florida, and Boston, sort of chasing. Ottawa broke through finally. They got in. They lost in the first round to Toronto. But it was like, okay, well, now we keep going. And this year has been, harder for them than, although last year wasn't like they cruised. They had to work to get in. But they still have, that's still a good amount of ground to work up and not too much time left.
That's right. That's all.
Yep.
It doesn't feel like they're making up ground. Maybe they are a little bit, or they have a little bit in the last 2 or 3 weeks. But still 5 out. Games in hand on the Bruins and the Red Wings. And Ottawa, I know Owen feels this way yourself, that they're dangerous.
Yeah, I'll be rooting. I'll go Washington. They play Washington tonight, I believe. Yeah, go Capitals. I think you'd rather not have to see Ottawa in this tournament. I just think that they're a certain level of good that has been undone largely by goaltending this year, and I think if they get in, the goaltending would have stabilized. It's largely Ullmark we're talking about, and to me, he could get hot. He's capable of putting together a really good 3-week stretch or more. So I don't want to see them. I think there's a lot of nice young players on that team.
Is Ottawa a team the Sabres only play 3 times? October 15th, 8-4 Sabres. December 23rd, 3-2 Sabres overtime. And that's it. They only have 1 game left with Ottawa, April 2nd. We were talking about this the other day with the schedule.
How they used to play like 8 times, some of the teams in the division coming out of the lockout.
So there are teams, it looks like, if I'm not missing one, there are teams in the division that you would only play 3 times. Because I don't see the Sabres on here again, other than those 2 games.
I think that happened with Toronto recently, 2 or 3 years ago. They only came here once. We went there twice. It was kind of like, what are we doing? Why aren't there more Toronto games?
Well, you have to have Utah games.
Right. Yeah.
Home and home with the West. That's pretty much
it.
How it's been for a long time, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And that's 32 games out of 82.
Right. The schedule rotation has not changed in quite a few years now.
In that way, at least.
Right. Yeah.
Once each against the Western teams, home and away. Ottawa at Washington, 7:30 tonight. And then the Senators play tomorrow night against the Islanders in Ottawa. There you go. 803-0550 for your calls. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, WGR.
Hey, it's Bulldog here for Window.
Wow, it's always special to hear my wedding song play on the show. I don't hear it a lot anymore. Another one bites the dust. It's probably not the worst wedding song. How do you like Paul yesterday?
It's pretty bad.
Pretty bad. There've got to be worse ones. Worse ideas.
Sure, I agree.
How do you like Paul? He made a comment yesterday on the show, right? Or Monday? Was he on both days? Anyway, this week about how he doesn't fill out a bracket. Now, you don't fill out a bracket because you're just not that interested.
Right.
Paul's point was, he said something like, there's nothing more of a donation I could make in a contest like this than filling out the bracket. Like, just no chance of winning. And that's interesting because Paul and I don't always see the board the same way. And over the years, I don't feel like this happened very recently, but, you know, I'm numbers, and he's eye test, and maybe we're both things, but he's definitely on one side of that, and I'm more on the other. And I've said, you know, there were times when I got frustrated with these conversations, like, you don't even have to watch these games. Just look at what the numbers are telling you. Who cares what it looks like, you know? Which I don't mean that so literally, but, you know, I felt that way before. And I absolutely feel that way about the NCAA tournament. I probably watch less than he does. He's got a team.
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't watch any games. But I don't need it. I don't need to know what kind of defense Florida plays, right? Like, I mean, if I lose, somebody knows more, probably has the edge. I'm not saying that I should win these brackets.
Right.
I don't feel like dead money because I'm going to, you know, use leverage indexes and try to feel like, is this a team that everybody's going to pick and maybe it's closer than they think, so I can do that.
And you enjoy that sort of process. Whereas for me, like, I literally would just be filling in the, like, I'm not going to do that work. I don't want to. I thought I don't want to know. It doesn't mean enough to me to do the work to try to win a pool. So it's like, why bother? You know, with this thing I'm in Joe Ostrowski's Survivor pool, which I've tweeted the link to, and I'll do it again tonight just before the tournament starts, and maybe even through the tournament if I'm alive. But it's that win percentage is there. I'm just gonna pick somebody that's 90-ish tomorrow and hope I get through to Friday. I'm not gonna go with Duke or like a team that I think really I don't know how many teams do, like the people that really follow it think could win the tournament. Are there 10?
Maybe 10.
Okay. I have a feeling I know the high seeds. I know who those teams are. They're the teams that are 99% tomorrow or Friday to win, probably. So I'm going to avoid them for now because I might need them later if I'm alive. So let me just wade in here. I was a little shook, though. I've got Nebraska over Troy tomorrow. And the first bracket, I don't know if Sam has posted more than one bracket, but our buddy Sam Panayotovich, who we'll visit with on Friday, he's in Vegas for the start of the tournament. So that'll be a fun visit with him. Had Troy over Nebraska. I was like, oh, no. Should I change my pick? I'm like, no, whatever. I'm just going to roll with it.
Eventually in that, you have to get weird. I made it to the final 8. And really, if I'd won that game, it was Houston-Villanova, I might have had it. Like, I was in the 250. I was really close because I got a little weird early. And you need upsets.
Right.
And I got them, but I could not get that one win. And I still remember where I was for that game. Anyway. Sorry to get sad there at the end. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. We'll be right back. This is WGR.
The Buffalo Sabres started their road trip with a bang, a 2-0 shutout win over the Vegas Golden Knights last night. They'll continue the road trip tomorrow night against the San Jose Sharks. Alex Tuch was out of last night's game due to an illness. His status will be updated tomorrow. Injury report brought to you by Hamburg Overhead Door. Is your garage door injured? Call the experts at Hamburg Overhead Door to get your door healthy again. Sabres and Sharks tomorrow. That faceoff will be at 10 p.m. tomorrow night. You'll be able to hear that right here on WGR. Around the NHL, 6 games taking place tonight, 2 of which could affect the Sabres in some sort of aspects. The Carolina Hurricanes hoping to maintain first place in the Eastern Conference. They'll face off with the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. The Ottawa Senators continue their frantic chase for a wild card. They'll be squaring off with the Washington Capitals. In football, the Minnesota Vikings signed Bills offensive tackle Ryan Vandermark to an offer sheet yesterday, according to NFL Network's Tom Pelissero. The Bills have 4 days to match the signing, or they will lose Vandermark for no compensation. The Philadelphia Eagles traded a 2027 7th-round pick to the Carolina Panthers for quarterback Andy Dalton, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. Meanwhile, free agent linebacker Logan Wilson has announced his retirement from the NFL after 6 seasons. Wilson last playing with the Bengals and Cowboys last season. College hoops, one more day until the NCAA tournament first round gets started, with games going on in Buffalo as well. The city of Buffalo will get the following games: Louisville against South Florida, Michigan State against North Dakota State, Michigan against Howard, and Georgia versus St. Louis. One headline from the Buffalo games: Louisville will be without freshman Mikel Brown Jr. against South Florida. Brown averages 18.2 points per game this season for Louisville. This update's brought to you by Paddock Chevrolet, with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Derek Kramer. You're listening to WGR.
Oh, an invitation to talk fantasy. Why? I don't. Let's go. ADP chasing last night. I'm sure you saw it before the Sabres game. We wrapped up at about 9. So there was that. I wore my Toronto St. Pat's toque, not realizing that the Leafs wore that uniform, which I guess they always do.
Yeah, they do.
And how great is that uniform?
It's a really great look, yeah.
And they lost.
Yeah, well, that's what they do, largely.
It's what they do now.
But, hey, Morgan Riley fought a guy that bumped into the goalie, so, they're on the way back.
Culture's right. That must mean good things about the culture. Is that coach out?
Oh, my God, yes.
Really?
Yes.
Is he going to be back in somewhere?
Yes.
Because he won a cup?
Yeah, he chews the gum and he's got the look. Like, yeah, he'll be back. I think the GM. I talked to Luke Fox on Friday. You weren't here Friday, right?
Correct.
Yeah, you went to Philly. Luke Fox, Sportsnet, Leafs beat, and there's just just everything. They are living last year to an extent from us. Like all the Matthews getting cheap shotted and nobody doing anything, and now it's like, oh, we're gonna show we're a team, and it's just it's so pathetic to watch from a distance. Like, we've lived this life many times. I can't believe the GM will make it out either. I just don't trust living. They botched so badly a restart. Like, oh, well, this core 4, we can't win in the playoffs. We need to be tougher and meaner and harder to play against and all this sort of stuff. And it just, right from the start this year, like very early, I remember thinking, they're not good. Maybe they'll get better, but this is not a good hockey team. And they've been that all year. Even with Matthews and Nylander and Tavares. They miss Marner. They decided their fastball couldn't win for them anymore. And look, there's a reason to do that. It was 9 years in, and it wasn't getting them anywhere.
That's the Bills.
But, man.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
The Bills didn't exactly do that.
Yeah, they didn't change. They did run focus, but the league kind of became more run focused. Not like the Bills were more like on the front end of a wave than they were like, let's change how we play because this isn't working as much. I think anyway. But yeah, there's similarities. But man, and I don't know what the way back is. Their pipeline doesn't. They got nothing.
You know, I don't need to tell you, Sabres fans have had it really tough, not just with the 14-year playoff drought and even years before that without even winning a round. But then the having to watch departed stars go win elsewhere like immediately. O'Reilly in St. Louis, Eichel in Vegas, Reinhart in Florida. And Toronto did a lot of winning in the last decade, had a tough time winning rounds. And, you know, almost the best we could do here was to sort of laugh at that.
Right.
You know, it's really not enough to laugh at that. They're still better than you. But at least it was something. I watched, was it Game 7 against the Panthers last year in Toronto? And they got blown out. Like it was 5-0 maybe at some point. And I was with my brother-in-law who lives in Toronto. And just like, I thought they were going to do it. And there you are watching the Leafs, you know, be the Leafs again in that game. Just far not the better team. Imagine, saying all that is leading to this. Imagine if the Sabres go and win the Stanley Cup.
I know.
And Toronto is just like, Buffalo does not even rate at all. We can go to any of their games we want in their building and make fun of it. They're never even in the playoffs. Sure, we lose to Tampa and Florida, but still, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
We've got stars. We're in the mix. and you take a year and they fall out of the picture and the Sabres just go, whoo.
Right.
How great would that be? How great would it be to have scoreboard over teams like that
and
that
so
fan base,
tasty,
and even Ottawa, right? It's just
I do like. I mean, look, I can. We're so close. It's a hockey market. Like, if you're interested in how hockey is covered and talked about, like I am, you're going to dip into the media there. So I'm always sort of. I'm more, I think, than the average fan, like conscious of what's being said and written up there about their team and about our team. And when the Sabres went in there the last time they visited there and just sort of danced on them, I just thought, like, I'm not one to go find my favorite Canadian radio show and listen to it in a podcast during the day, but I was as close as I've ever been after that, because I'm just curious, what do hosts I like on shows that I like think about this? Like, what's happening here versus what's happening in Toronto. When it's right in their face and it's happening in Toronto's building, it's like, who are these people? Who's Hellenus? What happened? How did we end up here? They're there, we're here. I mean, holy cow. And even, I don't know, barely at Christmas would you have thought this was a thing.
Oh, yeah, no.
And, like,
I'm not sure I still think it's a thing. I have to remind myself that I do.
Just incredible. And then they go out and play, like, the game of the year Sunday before last, and, like, it's just so wild. It's just such a cool thing.
It's a little bit what happened this year with New England.
Yeah, I guess.
We're not supposed to see you at this party. You know, how did you get invited to this?
Right.
But, you know, there it was in the Super Bowl, right? That could – maybe the Sabres can actually do it. We talked about them a lot early today. I just love their makeup to be a team that can maybe pull this off, because they've never been this team. They've never been a team so deep and strong on the blue line. And it just makes it so hard for their opponents to get through. I mean, Vegas has a few star players, as we know, and they had chances in the game last night, but you're just like, with a team like that, the Sabres, you're really kind of in every game. You should be in every game. You give up a couple bad goals. Well, they've even had that. I mean, they're like, 30-5 or something in their last half a season. There was a game in Florida where they went down 2-0 right away and won maybe 5-3.
Yeah.
Like, the way they're constructed, which I'm sure is no accident, they, tested a certain thing. Let's keep going on the blue line. Let's pay Samuelson. Let's add Byram. And then I think they wanted to trade Byram. I don't know that. They weren't successful if they wanted to. And here he is. And I think he probably needs the other guys.
Yes.
But, he's talented.
He's a big part of what they do back there. Sure. I mean, I think, thinking about replacing him with anyone else who's here, it's not the same. He is an elite skater and a very good puck mover. He's not the tightest in his own zone. But he is a part of making this work for sure to me. Those four guys. And hey, not for nothing, we spent a lot of time the last week or so since the trade deadline on these new guys, and it didn't start off great. Stanley and Shen had a couple of rocky games, and there's giveaways here or there, and like, oh, did I hurt myself instead of help myself at the deadline? Stanley and Metza looked really nice last night to me. There was one shift in the third period where I got a little scared, but the first two periods, like every time they were on the ice, the puck was out of the zone quickly. I thought they really had it. Metza especially. Metza looks like, to me, a guy who, he's been scratching a little guy. Of course, right? Undrafted, like, national champion at Quinnipiac, captain of that team, captain of the Amherst. Like, he's a scratcher and a clawer because little guys have to be. But he moves really well, and he handles the puck really well, but he's just tiny. He looks to me like a guy that went, are you going to go trade for 2 defensemen? All right. Let me just show you what I got. Because he is more and more. Last night, Lindy says after the Toronto game, he deserves to be in the lineup. I don't know what you say after. I thought last night was his best game as a Sabre. He made so many good little plays with the puck. The play he made, it's one of these odd man rushes that they didn't convert. He makes a play. He sees he's pursuing the puck into his own zone. He sees Oslin coming off the bench, skating toward the wall through the neutral zone, and he just throws, it's not exactly no look, but he just throws a pass up off the wall right to Oslin. He's in on a 2-on-1 with Tage Thompson.
Yeah. That was in the third?
Yeah. He just made plays like that all night. He was dynamite. The regulation goal they scored, I don't think they awarded assist because the goalie played the puck behind the net. And so I think that was Doan unassisted. But in the neutral zone, that was Stanley from the right in front of the benches, right around the red line, over to Metza into the zone. That was the play. And I thought they had a really stabilizing, encouraging night together, those two. It's the first time they've been paired together, and I liked it a lot.
That's a sneaky, great play by Doan, too.
Yep.
Just like, okay, bank it in.
Right.
Wins the race. Yeah, really good. What is the stat? I texted Travis Yost during the game about Metza because I thought I was hearing hadn't been on the ice for a goal against since October.
5-on-5. That has been said.
Travis had there was one against Nashville in January. He said,
okay,
that maybe is the one. I don't know, but really good.
Yeah, no, it's been scoring chances, all that stuff, like for and against, have been very tilted in his favor. And like they're trying him out. He's last night he was with Stanley. I don't think he played with anyone but Stanley last night, unless I'm mistaken, which is possible. It's a long game, but last night felt more like less of, okay, let's really choose our spots here. Let's be careful. You're on the road, so that dictates some of that, right? There's a D-zone draw. I don't remember what period, first or third, but it was the Sabres were defending that goal. And Stanley and Metza were out there against the Eichel line for a draw on their own end. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens here. And I don't remember if it was a clean win, but Metza got the puck, and it was on the tape of a forward and out of the zone. Just like, boom. Not worried about D-zone face-off against their top line. We're just going to get it out of here. I think it was a very encouraging night for that. For Stanley, too, because he's got – I think they're going to want him to play, and they got to find the right fit for him, and maybe Metza is it.
The Sabres were 11-14-4 through 29 games. Now they are 42-20-6. So 31-6-2 in their last 39. And almost all of those wins are in regulation. A couple aren't, but the vast majority are regulation. Right. This is not a team that's won 10 shootouts.
Right.
They haven't lost a shootout. They're 4-0, but
only 4. Right.
In their last 21 road games, they are 18-2-1. Has that ever happened in the history of the Sabres? 18 out of 21 on the road. Again, almost all in regulation like last night. We did this with Paul yesterday. They had a road loss in Tampa, the overtime loss, where they were leading with under a minute.
Right.
Then they went to Tampa after the break and beat them badly anyway. So you have an overtime loss to Tampa. You have an overtime – well, that's a home game. That's a home game. We did this yesterday with the road games. The second last road loss is Carolina on Martin Luther King Day on a Monday afternoon.
They played great, 2-1. They got goalied by Bussy. Who?
They got bussied. Their third last road loss was January 3rd on a Saturday afternoon against Columbus, and you remember that game.
That was the 10-game win streak ender, and I was out to watch that game, which they're playing at 4 o'clock again on Saturday against the Kings.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna saddle up for that.
Four road losses ago was December 8th in Calgary.
4 road. I know we did this yesterday, but it still is mind-boggling. That is insane. 4 road losses ago
was December 8th.
It was before this all really started.
3.5 months.
Before it started. I mean, the next night is the Edmonton game. It's the start of the 10-game win streak and the start of this whole thing rolling. And it's incredible that was only 4 road losses ago.
Yes. What can you say? I mean, it's just the numbers. These kind of stats speak for themselves. They're amazing. Trivia question.
Okay.
So I told you about Jim Otto earlier. I found some cards.
Right.
I found an exciting pile of.
Excellent at blocking, or whatever it said.
Yeah, on the back of the card, 61 Fleer Jim Otto, it says, he does everything well, but is particularly good at blocking. Being a center in football, let's hope. I mean, that's what I really need that to be one of your specialties.
Yeah, I think
blocking guys.
And snapping and blocking.
Snapping, blocking.
What department are you in? I'm snapping and blocking.
Apparently, snapping is no better than his second best trait.
Right.
The late, great Jim Otto. My favorite sports jersey is a white Raiders Jim Otto jersey, 00, and I have one. I'm lucky to have one.
With the silver numbers that you like so much?
Silver numbers, black letters. Yeah. They also had a silver letter stint, the Raiders, which is the best. But still great. Here's a trivia question. So in the course of looking through some of my stuff, I found an exciting pile of 80-81 Edmonton Oilers cards.
Okay.
I bought a collection. I remember doing it a long time ago, and this woman had tons of cards from those years, like 81, 82 football. And I also bought a collection around that time from a guy in Toronto who had the same for hockey. So I've got like way too much from those years. Anyway, this pile of 80-81 and 81-82 Oilers. And, I mean, the names. This is a pile you want to have. This is a fun find. Mm-hmm. What former Sabre shared the 80-81 Oilers season lead in shorthanded goals with Wayne Gretzky at 4?
Former Sabre. Lee Foglin.
Right.
See, the only former Sabre that would have even been there, I think. I can't think of anyone else. But
I was about to say he was already a former Sabre at the time, so it could have. Maybe there's somebody who, like a Craig Simpson or somebody.
Yeah, right. Who came here after?
Putty.
Yeah, right.
But yes, Lee Foglin and Wayne Gretzky. If I'm Lee Foglin, that's in my bio.
Oh yeah.
Gretz and I shared the team lead in shorties in 81. Here's Joe with us. Hi, Joe.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure thing, Joe.
Yeah, so I heard I just got in the car. I was coming home. Heard your Mets a point and, Logan Stanley, and as much credit as they deserve, I honestly think that Owen Power and the way he's been playing, it gets missed because so many people want to bash him over the last couple of years. And when I watch the kid skate and I watch him take the puck away in the defensive zone and the way he positions his body and the passing and everything that he does on the elite level to be the guy that he was getting picked 1 overall, especially being that he's not playing the role maybe I guess everyone thought he would be, this number 1, Kel McCarr, Rasmus Dahlin type.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope it doesn't get lost on Sabres fans, and I don't think it does now at this point. But I just want to make, because I've been on his wagon for a while, because I could see that he was developing, and when I watch a game like last night, I see the way that he sets his body up defensively when he's off the puck, where he gets to positionally. I just think that the kid has just arrived, and I just want to make sure he gets some credit. That's all I got to say.
Joe, this is like my favorite call in 10 years. I swear, I want to meet you out for a beer sometime. I think it's all well said. Go ahead. Say, if you got more to say, go ahead. But I agree across the board.
I think you're going to say it, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
I agree too.
Yeah, there's not a guy that's gotten more crap on this team since he got here, and I'm not saying none of it is deserved. But Joe is just highlighting, it's all subtle stuff that he does so well that helps them all the time. And I know he misses a guy in front of the net and it's in the net, or there's a bad clear, and like the mistakes are glaring. The other stuff is so good almost all the time. You got to really pay attention, and you just got to get over he should be meaner, whatever you want. He's not Darlene. He is not Cale Makar. We knew it in the draft year. He was not. I even remember at one point saying, it's not the best year to win the lottery, because he's not like a unbelievable player. That doesn't mean he's not a very good player on what has become a very good team. I mean, he's the number 2 defenseman on one of the best teams in the league right now.
Yeah, I echo what you said about the phone call. It's one of the goals is, without even thinking about it, to always make sure nothing gets left out of the conversation. But the caller had the instinct. This is Owen Power is being left out of this conversation. He's right.
Yep.
And I think the same way about him. But we were just talking about, here's Metza, who's everything you laid out, undrafted, underdog, young. And that's like a better story. But
right, and more of a concern. Like, I'm not talking about Power because I'm not worried about Power. All I say, and I say it all the time, so it's not like I'm not saying his name all the time, but I've been saying for months, this team's superpower is those 4 dudes. He is among those 4 dudes. Like, he's not a weak link at all in that equation to me. He matters as much as any of them to me.
Sidney Crosby is back for Pittsburgh tonight, by the way. They had a nice win. Was that last night in Denver, or was it Monday? 7-3?
I think it was last night.
Monday, 7-2.
It was Monday? Okay, sorry.
7-2, they beat the Avs, and they got outshot, but maybe one of those games. Tonight, Crosby is supposed to be back in the lineup at Carolina. Who do we want?
Penguins. They're going to be in, keep Carolina within, keep them tied with the Sabres.
Man, if I wasn't annoying already with how teams should get to pick their playoff opponents, and I think the NHL is the best league for why I feel strongly about that. Imagine the Sabres getting the 1, and we're going to get stuck with some team that we might think is way better than the other team in the wild card or something,
Yeah.
Whether that's Ottawa or even Columbus, maybe. Like, I want to pick Detroit or whoever it is at the time, but you don't have that kind of luxury, do you?
No.
We haven't evolved to the point.
No.
The teams are all so close. Make the regular season worth something. You can't play out of your division in most cases. So, like, Dallas and Minnesota are going to play, even though both will have way more points probably than anybody in the Pacific.
Right.
And really, like, what did you accomplish in 6 months if the top team in the East has 105 points and the last playoff team has 91? How much of a difference is that? Make it worth something. And if they all wimp out and pick from the standings, you've lost nothing.
Right.
And then we can rip them for making a bad choice, which is the reason they don't do it. Because it's much easier. To some, it sounds like a ridiculous idea. Why do we need that? We don't need it, but very often you would not rank the teams in the order that they land in.
No, that's right.
In terms of quality. There could still be upsets anyway. But, yep, I'm going to drive you nuts with that. If the Sabres get the 1 seed and get a bad matchup, or what we think is one, anyway, that can wait. NFL Draft Talk with Chris Trapasso today. He joined us earlier. We'll have that conversation for you after this. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.